Welcome to Dimension 119, a dimension where anything can happen. Prepare for the strange and unexpected. Enjoy today's episode.
There we go. That's what happens when you haven't streamed in a week, because you've been out of town. All right, we are back in the Emporium, guys, and without further ado, because I'm ready for some D&D, and I'm ready to actually stream this week, because this is the first day I've streamed all week, because I've been out of town for work. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Steve, and we'll get this thing rolling.
Thank you, kind sir. Glad you made your trip and had safe journeys home. Welcome back, everybody, to Season 2, Episode 6 of Orlunds Magical Mountain Emporium. As we left off our players in the last session, they had vanquished evil incarnate in the form of a Death Knight, and Phil laid heavy fire, causing the destruction of this giant floating green skull. But that wasn't the only front the players were beset upon. The noble halflings giving up the majority of their lives to set traps for these violent turkeys, as Phil so eloquently put it. And the Jade Bridge had been swarmed by zombies that were just getting ready to clash against the 4 remaining halflings that had formed a defensive bulwark in the path of the horde. The gnome that accompanied them, that now took over as leader after the dwarf was killed, had run up towards the citadel, seeking refuge and telling everyone else to do the same. And that's where we pick up today's session. Welcome back, guys. You have exactly 6 seconds to figure out what you want to do, because at that point, the horde is going to hit this 4-man shield wall and swarm over it.
Everybody grab a baby and let's go.
Another wall?
I mean, did you have your spells back?
Yup. That's what I'm thinking.
Everybody can go ahead and award themselves an inspiration point. Sobin, I believe you were carrying one from halfway through the previous session.
I didn't use mine last session either, so I get 2 now too.
No, they don't stack.
Oh, god dang it.
They just replaced the previous one.
All right,
That's
I got
why
3
I was telling him that he had one.
I got 3 then.
Yes, for those who don't know, the players have leveled at this point. So you all need to make sure that everything is updated on your character sheets and you're not shortchanging yourself of any abilities or traits or anything. So the gnome took off running. He's headed up towards the cavern wall, towards the citadel that's carved in stone, which is now glowing with a vibrant green hue as compared to the blue stone walls the Emporium naturally possesses. Because upon Phil's detonating final shot, the skull shattered apart and the green essence flowed back into the stone of the citadel.
Is Kilgaunt throwing up a wall, or
I mean, is that the consensus?
I mean, it's that or run into the citadel, I guess.
I mean, I'm looking at the gnomes and looking where the halfling dude is running to. I mean, I don't even know if we can even get into the door. So, I mean, anytime we can be bought is great.
So throw up a wall while we figure out how to get
Why don't you
inside.
reverse gravity and build a wall slide to put them through the cavern or the chasm?
I could cast a blade barrier.
We just want something to hold him back so buy us time, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
if you can kill them, that'd be like
Way better.
re-dead them. That would be great.
Yeah, re-dead.
Re-dead.
Well, at your best guess, actually, Phil, give me a perception check. You were a cook in the King's Army.
Perception is
Look, I don't
19.
know. I don't know if even Phil can make zombie taste good. So let's
I'm
not go
pretty
there.
sure I might be able to.
Enough
We'll have-
garlic, anything's passable.
Exactly. And Mikey can bless the meat. So
Sure can.
So no curses from eating it.
it's all good, right?
I mean, I'm all for just like lifting them all up with reverse gravity, but I'm gonna have to hold that.
I got the meat
And
sweats.
it's a waste of 11th level the spell if we don't get to use it again.
I had a 19 perception, bud.
Phil, with your perception, you can tell by just the way the horde is moving, you're probably looking at numbers of over 2,000. There appear to be quite a few of these things flooding in from the other side of the cavern, the other side of the chasm, from the westward edge.
Okay, so then I'm gonna look over at Kilgaunt and say, I know what you're thinking. Save your spell. Let's get inside and put the wall up in front of the fucking door. um, there's no other course of action. There's thousands of these.
Are you sure we can get inside?
It's better to go check than sit here and die.
Well,
Right.
in one of the previous episodes, you guys did some preliminary scans of the stone facade and the citadel itself being carved into the stone. I believe Kilgaunt did some stone cutting on it and checked that out. And I believe that Curzon did some detect magic on it. And that's what originally led you guys to being able to pick up the knee breakers coming from the east down the tunnel, was Curzon being able to detect the magic
Right.
of the
Saw
dwarf's
big light.
axe. You did find, when you did your investigatory searching of the tunnel and the wall, that it didn't appear to be anything crazy as far as the stonework went.
Yeah, it was all
you
human construction.
you specifically remembered it being some human construction just from the crude shaping of the stone. You didn't specifically search it to see if it was locked or trapped, but nothing was glaringly obvious to you. In fact, it didn't even have a doorknob where the door went. It was literally just a big iron ring, a big iron pull ring on the door.
Okay.
Silbin's gonna go to the door and see if it budges.
You come up right behind this gnome as his legs are pumping and he's running towards the door, and you hit it almost at the exact same instant, and you grab the ring, and as you grab the ring, the gnome slams both hands into the door and just shoves it inward with a surprising amount of strength for someone of his diminutive stature, and it begins slowly
Uh,
Well then.
I'll-
I'm gonna say go, 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 and
let's get
start
in.
running towards the door.
I'm just gonna shove it open and take a couple steps in and look around, see what I can see.
and you all bum rush forward, adding your strength behind this gnome's pushing the stone open, and all of you have a high enough perception to realize that the four halflings never broke formation. They have begun an intricate and wild dance amongst the four of them, where two of them are actually swinging the other two, and the other two are actually dual wielding weapons and being swung around by the feet by their companions, and they're just whirling into this thick horde of zombies that's slowly beginning to circle and encompass around them, and blood and parts are just flying in every direction. And the gnome screams, "Close the door!"
You want to close your men outside.
They know their role. Close the door.
Not sure I feel right about this. I won't. And Sylvan steps away from the door.
And the gnome's leaning against it, grunting, just driving his little legs, trying to push it closed.
I'll help.
I also am gonna try to close the door and I'm just baffled at how many knees just got took out.
The door is made of stone.
Correct. And between the three of you, it pushes closed with a resounding as it sets back into its molding. Sylvan, give me a perception roll since you're stepping back away from this door.
Perception, it's going to be a 23.
So you take a step back away from this door, almost in disgust at the action being taken right now, and you turn yourself away from the door slightly, not wanting to watch the door close, and the vista opens up in front of you before anybody else. You're looking at a round, 80-foot in diameter room that along the right hand and left hand wall, two staircases spiral up the wall into the floor above. The ceiling is about 15 feet above you, and in this main open corridor, you see etched into the stone of the floor is this, from all your experiences with the arcane, some sort of arcane sigil that comes to within 5 feet of the wall, all the way around this circle. You and your companions and the door are standing just outside the edge of this sigil that's etched into the floor.
Is there a path to get to the stairs without stepping on the sigil?
No. You can skirt the sigil all the way to where the staircases start, but in order to get on the staircases, you'd have to step within the ring.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if I recognize the sigil?
Sure.
Yeah, Sylvan will kind of get down on one knee and be examining it as well.
All right.
14.
Your wall is a ramp to get over that part of the circle.
21 Arcana for me.
Good call.
So, Kilgaunt, you see the sigil and you know immediately that there's something tied to this, but you can't place the school of magic or the type of effect it would provide just by the long sweeping lines of it. It's just a little too foreign to you. It has that human aspect to it.
Right.
Sylvan, you look at it for a split second longer and you realize it's not a single sigil, it's two sigils. and they're flawlessly woven together. One of them's a sigil of binding, and the other one you've never seen before, but from the stylizing of it, you expect it to be some sort of amplifying magic, some sort of transmogrification magic, but you can't place exactly what spell or effect it would have.
I'll look towards Kilgaunt, knowing he's got some magic abilities, and let him know that what I see, and say, I'm not sure that we should
Is there
just step
something
into
there's
this.
there's not like an altar or anything in the center of the sigil, like center of the room?
No, it's a
Okay.
big open room. There are some tapestries that hang along the walls, some large iron candelabra that have half melted beeswax candles that are on the perimeter of the room, but none of them are lit.
Okay. Uh,
The
how
sigil.
far up do these stairs go? How high up do the stairs go?
The ceiling is 15 feet above you.
Okay.
At that point, they both curl around the outsides of the room. So they both probably 15, 16 feet up, they disappear into the floor above. Whether or not they continue, you can't tell from where you're standing.
And the walls are made of stone too.
Correct.
Complete stone construction.
It's a sheer circle. Like you can tell just from immediate look that this was magically crafted.
For sure.
That somebody's hands didn't create this. And with the way that the stone is shaped, like how it's just a smoothed out circle, they didn't take any time to like etch any bas reliefs or anything like that into it. You're immediately like a human mage did this.
Can I tell if it's like a binding sigil that's supposed to hold something here, or if it's designed to be like a trap?
Go ahead and give me an arcana check. This time with advantage, since you're specifically looking for the detail in this binding.
22.
So you look at it and you mentally black out the other sigil. You just ignore every line and curve of it, and you're studying the sigil of binding itself. And as you're looking at it, it the sigil almost kind of like the arcane waves kind of shimmer in it, and as they shimmer, it it blurs across and scrolls into the image of a single name, and then it shifts back into this glowing 8-sided rune that is the sigil of binding. And the name you actually recognize, you've heard it before. You actually heard it not that long ago. And the name is Sesamoth.
Sashomaru. Szechuan.
I'll
Chicago.
say that out loud to everybody else. Just say Sylvan's kind of looking at this, kind of has kind of a distant look in his eye, and then just says sesame seed.
Sesame.
Shawshank Redemption.
You're right.
Chicago.
Phil's kind of like, isn't that the name of that dragon that killed our buddy? That I killed? Like, I don't understand. Like, why is he here now? Oh, so I killed him twice now. So we got to kill him some more times.
Third time's the charm, they say.
Yeah.
So yeah, Phil, that instant where Sylvan just kind of distantly looks off and repeats the name immediately triggers memory to flash across your mind, and you're like, "That was the dragon. What the fuck?"
Right. Like, why is Slytherin here?
Sylvan, you begin to piece things together as Phil is talking out loud back to you. Like, that was the dragon, right? Why are you talking about the dragon? You begin to piece things together. Like, oh, maybe this lich was binding this dragon in order to at some point possibly turn it into a Draco Lich, or maybe using it as a means to recover slaves and goods from the Emporium, or you just begin firing off these rapid, elaborate scenarios of what this binding could mean.
Yeah, and Sylvan's kind of talking some of that out loud, and like after a couple of theories, he kind of stops himself and he says, "We probably don't have to worry anymore, as we've killed the dragon. However, we should kill the sigil as well, just to be safe." And he'll
Wait,
go
so
to like
He'll draw
wherever
his
he
bow.
sees that name, and will start just trying to scar the floor in that area.
Okay, so you just like pull a dagger and just start digging at the line, trying to break that line
And I'm shooting my bow at it.
I'll hit it with my
at the
hammer.
same spot.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna stand over top of him and just
Yeah, and just
draw the
drive
bow
nails.
back in.
I'm gonna drive nails while
Just
it's
just dry firing the string onto his shoulder as you're letting these rounds go right next to his face and ear.
yep. And because it's a team effort. He's making
Yeah.
the air smoother for my arrows to fly truer. It's like
Gotcha.
he's like the sweeper in that stupid Canadian sport where they brush the ice.
Hockey.
Right. That's it. Not hockey. Curling. Hockey's
Curling.
awesome.
Curling, and those dudes with
Curling.
the brooms are the most important motherfucker. Fuck that guy who one knees that shit all the way in there. He don't have to do nothing but let go.
We got a
Yeah,
curling
but
rink in town here.
it's the
depending
two
on
guys that sweep the air in front of the bullet.
yes,
Yo,
that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
those guys are the MVPs because if they don't sweep enough, you ain't going fucking nowhere.
That's how the Canadian sniper got a 2 mile shot.
Right?
They were sweeping the
Air
air in
sweeping.
front of the
Sweep in
bullet.
air, yeah.
All right, so you go over at one spot and you're digging into the ground, trying to chip out this stone to break this arcane line. And Phil comes over next to you and he starts shooting his bow into the ground a few feet to the side of you, driving arrows into this. Phil, you actually need to do an arrow check because I believe that you were carrying 80 arrows on you, and in the last 2 sessions, you fired 60 shots.
Yes, I've fired 60 shots of the magical arrows that get magically produced by my bow.
Right, but you said you were carrying 80
I
regular
carry
arrows with you
regular
too.
arrows, but they're in my
So
bag of holding.
just make sure you note what's being shot out of
Track your
whatever
wind,
Oh,
other.
I am. Believe me,
So
those arrows are still in my bag. I haven't used a regular arrow yet.
so you go over and you're popping shots down into the floor. Keelgaunt, Curzon, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna go hit the sigil with my hammer.
Okay.
Did anybody
Looks
get
like
that
fun.
axe that one dude has, or does the gnome have it?
Do you mean the orc warlord's black axe, or do you mean the dwarves axe?
Either.
Curzon did pick up the warlord's black steel battle axe
But the
Okay.
from
the
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 first
other one
encounter.
went down in the chasm, didn't it?
No, that was his body fell into the chasm, so you didn't get his armor, but Curzon did pick up that black steel double bladed battle axe he was wielding. But
Maybe
nobody
they
that you know of gathered the dwarves axe when he fell.
I was just thinking maybe we should try to put like that axe through it, through one of the lines.
Are we all hitting it in the same spot?
No?
Okay, just making sure.
I would assume that you guys tried to space yourselves apart to not hit each other.
I mean, that's up to you guys. Sylvan's just trying to like scratch the name of the dragon out of the sigil.
And I'm just trying to help you.
And
My
someone needs
shoes
to
fit.
borrow this axe. No problem.
Exactly. Here,
So,
I'll put my hands on it.
Sigil is carved into the stone floor.
correct.
Um,
I'm gonna grab the axe from Mikey or
Oh, yeah.
Curzon, and I'm gonna try to swing that sucker into the ground there.
Okay.
Sounds fun.
I am currently looking for. Okay, so are we trying to smash the sigil entirely, or
You're just
Curzon
trying
just
to interrupt the lines that are carved into the stone,
okay?
basically to break that magical channel.
Curzon's just saw you guys trying to break the sigil, so he's like, hell yeah, I can break shit.
Okay.
Is that axe finesse? Can I use my dexterity modifier?
No,
Sure.
it's a strength-based weapon.
Okay.
I tried.
How
My
about
cue is just
a
like, sure.
yep?
Forget what Steve says.
I have
How
more
about a
options.
right? How about a 13 attack roll
13 to hit the
to
floor.
hit the
Yeah,
floor?
that'll hit.
Yeah. I don't know anything about this axe, so I just grabbed something and kind of tried to hit the floor.
All right. So you all, in your own individual ways, begin attacking this magical sigil that's etched into the floor. Through the cacophony of sound that erupts from axes hitting the floor and hammers hitting the floor to Sylvan chipping away with his stone, a soft chanting can be heard in between the impacts as the gnome kneels in front of this door, praying in a long forgotten tongue that seems foreign to all of you. At the same time, I need the four of you to make a constitution saving throw.
All right.
DC's 15.
27.
The
I got a
DC is
nat 20.
15.
Correct.
I got a 15.
21.
I got a 12.
And everyone except Curzon makes the save. And Curzon, you, as you slam your fist of Steve down into the floor, a reaction happens as the divine energy that courses through your body and this giant hammer comes into contact with the unholy energy that powers these sigils. And you take 34 points of force damage as
Damn.
this sigil erupts underneath the fist of Steve and actually slings your arm back up over your shoulder and throws you backwards off of your feet.
Dang. Right.
At the same time, a grinding sound begins to erupt from the middle of the floor where the sigils wrap in on themselves at their most tightest point, and you see the stone floor actually sinks 6 inches in a 12-foot circle and then begins to slide open. I'd like everybody to roll initiative, please.
Rutro.
Roll, Ruggy.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I rolled all my high
Nat
rolls at the
20.
beginning of the session.
Same. My initiative is a 7.
13.
Oh boy.
21.
22.
Oh.
Oh, Curzon with the big numbers.
It's about time.
21 for Keelgaunt, 7 for Phil, and what was that for Sylvan?
13.
13.
You can add a 17 hide check on that too there. Or is it super bright in here?
Ninja.
Shadow Phil.
Either way.
Ooh, you guys got so lucky. That one, let's see what they're.
Oh, Nat 1, whatever monster we were fighting just killed itself. But we don't get any XP.
All right, so somehow, even Phil with a 7 is going to get to act before them.
Holy
So just so everybody is aware, the initiative order is going to go Curzon, Keelgaunt, Sylvan, Phil, and what's coming as the stone floor slides open, revealing this 12-foot circle in the middle of the room. A moaning and grunting and shuffling sound begins as both sets of stairs, zombies begin to descend down the staircases, and a green glow begins to pulse as this huge leathery object, this glowing green sphere that's probably 10 feet or so in diameter, begins to float upwards out of the circle in the middle of the room. Curzon, you're first.
I'm kind of shaking my head a little bit since I just took a pretty good hit. But my first reaction is to cast Spirit Guardians.
Okay. Is that an action?
So that is a 1 action.
Okay. And that's your spell where anytime some people try to get close to you or do some damage to you, they're going to take some damage in return.
This is you call forth spirits to protect you. They float around you to a distance of 15 feet for the duration. If you are good or neutral, their spectral forms appear angelic or fey, your choice. If you're evil, they appear fiendish. When you cast this spell, you can designate any number of creatures you can see to be unaffected by it. And
Obviously,
affected
you designate
creatures,
your teammates.
absolutely. An affected creature's speed is halved in the area, and when the creature enters the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, it must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 3d8 radiant damage. If you're good or neutral, 3d8 necrotic damage if you're evil. On a successful save, the creature takes half damage.
All right. So that's your action. You have a movement action and a bonus action available to you.
I'm going to get up and move over by the group.
Okay. So you use your movement to stand up and take a step to your right. And you want to use your bonus action to ready your shield or anything?
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea.
Okay. So that gives us your turn. Keelgaunt brings us to you.
Okay. Where are we standing in relation to this open schedule and the thing, whatever's coming up?
So you guys just came in the door, which you guys were traveling south to north when you came across this chamber with the citadel. It was in the northern wall. So you're facing north into the room, and this room is an 80-foot circle that about 20 feet this way and about 20 feet this way, the staircases begin to ascend up. And right in
Staircases
the
are made of stone too.
correct.
Okay.
And right in the middle of this room, a 12-foot circle of stone in the middle has sunk down in and started to slide open. And you can see this green glowing orb coming up out of the floor. The sigil itself encompasses the entire room except a 5-foot wide ring that runs around the very outside wall of the room.
Okay. What's the diameter of these staircases?
Like how wide is each
Yeah.
staircase?
Yeah.
So it 5 feet in is where the staircases run right along the wall. So it's a 10-foot wide staircase that runs all the way up. But as the walls hit the staircases, the sigils run right up the stairs and also around behind it without breaking the arcane lines. That's why Sylvan asked, can I get to these stairs without stepping on the sigil? And you
For
could get
sure.
to the base of them, but you couldn't go up them because the stairs are encompassed in the sigils.
For sure. Hmm. Uh, 'Cause my first thought was to just blow out these staircases and get them as they fall, but that'd probably be a bad idea. Uh, I'm gonna move. We're all together right now.
Correct.
Okay.
You're all standing within a foot or two of each other as you were all attacking this sigil.
Okay. Um, Let me. I'm most probably gonna end up having to wipe out zombies again while you deal with whatever's coming through. So let me just figure out which wild shape I'm gonna take. Um, let's go with. Let's just wild shape into a giant scorpion for now.
An ill-tempered sea bass.
So what size category does that make you?
That makes me a large beast.
Which takes up a 10 by 10 square, which
Okay.
puts the majority of you inside the sigil. So I need you to make another constitution saving throw for me.
For sure. Okay. With the new wild shape constitution, obviously. Um, 19.
Okay. So you take 13 points of force damage,
For sure.
and you can feel the crackling arcane energy as it dances across this plated exoskeleton you now wear.
Mhm. Um, yeah, that's it for my turn, right? There's nothing I can do while
Uh,
wild shaped.
you
Not
didn't
right
use a movement, you used an action to
now. Oh,
wild
okay.
shape, or is it a bonus action to wild shape?
It's an action.
Okay, and
At
then you
least right
have a
now.
bonus action available. I don't know
Um,
if you have anything in that form that you can do as a bonus action,
mm,
or if you want to move anywhere.
let's move. I'm gonna move over towards the to one of the staircases. It doesn't really
You have
matter.
one to your left and one to your right. They're both about
Um,
20 feet away from you.
Okay. My speed as a giant scorpion is 40 feet, so let's go to the one to the right.
Okay. And you just plant yourself at the base of it, ready to receive this incoming wave.
Pretty
And
sure, yeah.
and as you get to the base of it, you get your first view up the stairs. And you can see that going up the stairs, once you hit that 15-foot mark where the ceiling is, you go in, and then like if you look in and up, you can see that there's another staircase that starts about 5 to 10 feet back from this staircase and goes up again to another floor. But you can see coming from the left side, which would be the center of the room, to that staircase is just a press of zombies slowly shambling their way down the stairs towards you.
Okay.
All right, Sylvan, that brings us to you.
Can I tell what's coming up out of the floor?
Give me a Arcana check.
13.
So you were focused on the sigils and how they were intertwined. So when this thing split open in the middle and started coming up through the floor, first you were struck by this magical green unholy aura that surrounded this thing as it began to rise up. But now your eyes are starting to adjust and you can perceive past the glow as they adjust, and you can see this large leathery orb that's about 6 or 7 feet in diameter, and it has these floppy waving tentacles that sprout from the top of it as it slowly begins to revolve in its orbit.
Okay. In that case, Sylvan is going to start his whispering that he does, and underneath his hood, his forehead's going to start to glow, and this sharp tip's going to start kind of protruding out of his forehead. And I need the thing to make an intelligence saving throw, DC 17.
It does not make it.
Yes, perfect. All right. I'm casting Rawlathim's Psychic Lance. So this glowing Psychic Lance is going to launch from Sylvan's forehead and strike this thing. I need to roll 7d6. Let me get my d6.
Roll it 70 times.
Oh, I was wrong, Steve. Just so you know, I have combat wild shape, so wild shaping is a bonus action.
I thought so.
Yeah, I
So
forgot
you
about
still
that.
have an action that you can have readied for when these first ones get to you. You can just spring off with your attack on them if you want
For
to.
sure. For sure.
So as this lance shoots out of Sylvan's forehead and strikes this thing, it's going to be 15, 19, 23 psychic damage. But it's also incapacitated until the start of my next turn.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna look to Phil and say, maybe your arrows will be more useful against these creatures than the floor. And I'm gonna give him bardic inspiration.
Nice.
One,
And
2 steps ahead of you, brother.
the chanting that was echoing out from behind you guys from this gnome that was praying at the door comes to a crescendo as he screams a word of power in a foreign language. And this bluish tinted magical aura begins to form around him at the feet and just all the way up as it climbs his body and encases him in a magical armor. And he stands up and turns around and pulls this short horn handled blade off of his hip and stalks up in between two of your legs and passes to the left, making his way over to the staircase. He gets to the stairs and takes the first 5 foot step onto the staircase and screams out in pain as a concussive blast picks him up and throws him back up against the wall of the tower, and he slides around the curve basically almost back to the door behind you, groaning and shaking his head. Phil, that brings us to you.
Um, Phil, as Phil struck the ground with this axe, um, all this stuff happens. Um, Sylvan says a couple words to him, and he's feeling a little bit more confident. And all of a sudden, this blue gnome goes flying past him and hits a wall. Um, so I turn around and I see the green orb thing coming up. Um, and I just go, "Oh, you back for some more?" And I ready my bow and I just start attacking him.
Okay.
Because there's nothing I can do about trillions of zombies. But when it comes to single target damage, I can do that. Maybe.
Okay.
Um, so my first attack. Let me get to my. I got to look at this maneuver real quick.
That Bardic Inspiration gives you 1d10 that you can add to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. Just for so you know. It lasts for
Okay.
10 minutes, so you have 10 minutes before you have to use it.
All right, 1d10. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so I'm going to. Okay, I'm going to use my sharpshooter feat. Um, which takes 5 away from my attack roll to add 10 damage.
Correct.
Just for a recap. Um, where's my character sheet? It's 19 minus 5 is 14. I'm going to use a superiority die to enhance my attack roll with a precision attack. That is an extra d10 for my attack roll. Ooh, yeah. So 24 to hit.
A 24 hits.
Okay. Okay, d10, d6. Okay, so 10 plus 6 damage plus 1 radiant damage.
So 16 regular, 1 radiant.
Yes, sir. Next attack. I will just use a regular attack. Oh my lord. For 29.
A 29 will hit.
You want to know a secret? That's not even the highest I can go without superiority die.
Well, I
Not
mean,
even
your
my final
character is
form.
completely geared around shooting a bow and arrow. So if you can't do that well, then there's issues.
Yeah, yeah. So five, not five, 11 regular damage and
Okay.
two radiant damage.
Okay.
And then my third attack will be. Does a 18 hit?
An 18 does hit.
Outstanding. For 14, yeah, 14 damage and 1 radiant damage. Okay, I need a new d6.
Okay.
And then uh, I'll do my usual out of habit little stealth roll check, which is going to be a 26.
Okay.
Not sure if that's gonna help anything. And then staying out of the sigil, I'm probably gonna take like a 5 foot step, kind of behind and opposite of Silbin, if there's enough room.
So you can either step to the right,
Uh-huh.
which would put you back towards the door and towards the staircase that Keelgaunt is now at the foot of as a giant scorpion, or you could step to your left, and that will put you further away from the door and closer to the left hand staircase where the gnome tried to run up the stairs and was thrown back against the wall.
I'm gonna go to the right because there's a big giant scorpion blocking that way.
Nice.
and and then that's my turn.
Okay. And that brings us to their first round of initiative. And the leading edge of the packs of zombies get down to floor level now. Um, Keelgaunt, you have a readied action if you'd like to use it to sweep across at the first group of them coming down.
For sure.
Um, but the rest are packing in, and as nobody has defended the left hand staircase, the horde has hit the floor and started shambling forward.
Okay.
Keelgaunt, you don't. I'm sure you don't really actually need to worry about a roll to hit.
For
These
sure.
are standard zombies. They only have an 8 armor class, but they do have 22 hit points. So
Okay.
if you want to just make your attacks and then tally up the damage, you can tell me how many of them you wipe out in that first move.
Okay. So don't roll to attack. Where are my d8s?
Um,
Okay, so I get 3 attacks.
Yep. So just go ahead and roll through your damage for all 3 of them because
Yeah.
there's enough of them packing down this thing, and then just tell me how much you got, and I'll tell you how many of them you killed. So instantly upon this lance from Silbin striking what at least Phil and Silbin both recognize to be what resembles a beholder to you, this thing had been revolving in its orbit, turning to face you guys, and this lance struck it and stopped it like a quarter turn short of facing the direction that you guys are facing. And then Phil's 3 arrows drove rapid fire into the side of this thing, scorching holes in it. And immediately the room is filled with the noxious odor of dead, burnt, decaying flesh.
Anybody got a match?
The green
A
glow that
fireball.
emanates
Actually,
the green glow that emanates from this beholder flashes a tiny bit brighter as a cackling laughter from somewhere higher in the tower rolls out in a peal, and it begins to slowly revolve itself towards you again. What'd you get, Keelgaunt?
The deets. So it's at 20 right now. 26, 27, 29 total.
So you sweep the first pack of 2 of them right off the staircase, pinchering them into pieces as they tumble, and the press continues down the wall. Let's see here. We are going to. So, and that's going to be this one. Yes, you are all within range. So, one of the eye stalks snaps
Hey,
around.
Steve. He's
you
incapacitated.
Yeah, he was incapacitated.
He's incapacitated till my next turn, unless he has something that gets him out of it.
Correct. Through which is what that green flash of
Gotcha.
energy and the peal of cackling laughter.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
As this eye stalk turns the final quarter turn past its body, almost if a beholder had a shoulder almost looking over it to turn the final quarter turn towards you, it releases this sheer line of green energy that streaks in and actually hits, well, is going to attempt to hit. Eleven. There it is. And we're gonna do this as fairly as possible. So this greenish colored ray of energy that spiraled through with this black crackling vein strikes out from this eye ray and slams into you, Phil, into your chest. And I need you to make a constitution saving throw.
I'm immune to beholder damage. It's
Well, it's a good
racial.
thing this comes from a lich.
It's racial. You can't tell me nothing about that.
Yeah, I mean, you'll just come off as racist.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I need you to make me a constitution saving throw.
Okay. One Constitution saving throw. So I rolled with my roll and my save. It's an 11. So I'm going to use one of my indomitable skills to re-roll that,
Okay.
and I'm going to use the D10 from my bardic inspiration.
Okay.
Okay, so this time it's a 14 plus 8 is a 22.
All right. A 22 it is. So you take 17 points of necrotic damage as you feel your life energy siphoned away from you as this ray enters your chest and feels like it passes right through your body.
Ugh.
From the right hand staircase, pushing its way down towards you, Keelgaunt, is this massive horde of zombies. And they all, well, the first two, the next two in line, since you killed the first two, are going to attempt to smash you.
Alrighty.
And they both rolled 8s with their +3. That's 11 to try
No.
to hit you.
Does
And they
not
just
hit.
begin flailing their upper bodies down at you, slamming into your armored carapace as you cut the first two in half and pull them out from underneath the horde. The left hand staircase, the zombies have begun pouring across the floor when Everybody give me a perception roll.
19.
21.
25.
23.
As all of you begin to see a secondary green glow start emanating from the top of that staircase. That brings us back to the top of the initiative order. Curzon.
I think I'm going to try to banish the beholder.
Okay.
So
Are you casting the spell banishment or are you trying to turn it? Because it is, in fact, an undead zombie beholder.
I'm going to cast the spell banishment.
Okay.
It gets a charisma saving throw.
What's the DC?
Here, let me link that to you real quick. Much faster that way.
Casting time, 1 action, range 60 feet. Yes, it's within range of you. Boom, 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 boom. You must send one creature point of existence. Target must succeed on a charisma saving throw or be banished. Target is native to the plane of existence you're on. You banish it, the target, to a harmless demi-plane. Are you casting this at 5th level or higher? Like,
Yes.
oh, well, I guess that doesn't
Well, you know
really
what? I
matter
guess I
because you
don't
can
really
just
need to.
target extra creatures if you need to.
Yeah.
But it still needs to know your save DC.
Okay.
So it should be your, I think it's 8 plus whatever your modifier is for your spell casting ability, plus the level of the spell, I believe.
It should be
that would
8
be
plus your modifier plus proficiency.
That's it. 8 plus your proficiency plus your spell casting modifier.
I think cleric's modifier is wisdom, if I'm not mistaken.
yes.
So
Yeah,
8
so
plus your
8
wisdom
plus your
score
whiz
plus
modifier
initiative.
plus your proficiency.
8 plus 5.
13, and then your proficiency.
Where do I find that?
It should
Well, your
be
proficiency is plus 5. So what's your wisdom? What's your wisdom modifier?
That's plus 5.
Okay, so your spell save should be 18.
yeah, so
Okay.
it'd be spell save DC 18.
All right. That's good
You
to know.
motherfucker. He rolls a 19, but he gets a -3 charisma.
Outstanding.
Oh yeah. I'll take it.
So you pull the fist of Steve down into your secondary hand, which is looped through the straps of your shield, and you begin chanting and channeling this divine energy. And at first, you feel an initial pushback, like almost like if you were trying to like push your hand through water, like through a solid, thing of water, that initial resistance. And you feel yourself open up as a conduit as more divine energy just begins to rush through you. You feel it channel down your arm and into the fist of Steve, and you feel it break through this plane. And looking out over the head of your hammer, that the detail of this hammer so intricately that you just block out that visual of it and you're looking straight past it at this zombie beholder that's slowly revolving to face you. And pops out of existence.
Sick.
Yeah.
Noise.
I'm just gonna sit there and hold that concentration for a minute.
Okay. Anything else you want to do with your turn? You want to move or do anything else?
Uh, I think for now I'm good where I'm at. I'm gonna stay at the ready.
Okay. Keelgaunt, that brings us to you.
Okay. Zombies still pouring down?
Just starting to press on you. You can feel the sheer weight of them.
Alrighty. Um. Well, this time around, let's just hit him again.
Okay.
And what happens next round of the term whether I change. Um.
So
Okay.
yeah, just go through and roll your damage. These guys have like no AC and they're so pressed in on you, it'd
All
be
right.
damn near impossible for you to miss hitting one of them.
And then 21 total.
And you cut another two of them down off the stairs, the two that just tried to slam into you and bounced off of your armor.
Alrighty. Yeah. I mean, there's not a whole lot else I can do. I'm just gonna kind of take a defensive stance to fight the incoming horde.
Okay.
Yeah.
That brings us to Sylvan.
So this other green glow, we just see it kind of coming our way right now, right? We don't actually see
Yeah,
the thing.
it's emanating from up on the floor above you, but it's getting brighter like it's getting closer towards the staircase.
Okay, I'm gonna pick the beginning of this other set of zombies where Kilgaunt isn't.
Okay, to the left of the door.
Yes, and I am going to like maybe I'm gonna cast a spell that has a 5 foot cube, and I'm gonna give like 4 feet of that. I'm gonna put in the group of zombies and leave a foot for them to be able to shuffle forward. Um, Basically, Sylvan is going to take out this shard of glass and crunch it in his hand and kind of blow it in that direction. And as it's heading that way, this like powdered glass starts to grow back into thousands of different pieces and spinning in the air in that area. As I'm going to cast Cloud of Daggers.
Okay.
Um, I am casting that at 4th level, so anytime hang on, click the wrong thing. Anytime a creature starts its turn there or enters that spell area for the first time on a turn, it's going to take 8d4 damage.
Okay. So pretty much every one of them as they cross through the bottom of the staircase on the floor, they're going to pass through and take this damage. It's centered right in the middle of the 10-foot wide staircase.
Yep.
Okay.
Um, and then I'm going to look back to Phil again and just say, do what you did again, and give him another bardic inspiration.
Okay. The gnome grunts and groans a little louder and begins to stand to his feet again, looking up, seeing these zombies 20 feet away and this cloud of spinning glass daggers shredding. He takes a few steps forward, breathing heavily, and just off from one side, from the left hand side by the wall, he just starts slashing in at the pack of zombies from the edge of this cloud and just starts huh, trying to cut these things down. And he's not going to need to roll to hit either, so one of the zombies on the far left edge of the staircase up against the wall. He cuts the leg out from underneath it, and as it goes to tilt to the side and fall down, a glass dagger spins and goes right through its neck as it drops down to the floor in front of him, and he just starts trying to swing in on the next one. Phil, that brings us to you.
Um, I am glad that you said the gnome got up because I was gonna go try to check on him real quick because, like I said, he flew right past me. Um, and that big giant ball was gone. Um, so that disappeared, kind of caught me off guard. And then Sylvan, said a couple more words to me, and I felt just as confident as I did a minute ago. Um, so I'm I don't really know what to do right this second. I guess I'm gonna just start shooting at some some zombies.
Okay. Do you want to target the right staircase where Keelgaunt's cutting them down, or do you want to target the left staircase where this cloud of daggers and this gnome is trying to kill them as they hit the floor?
Um, Question: Is Keelgon attacking with his tail or anything like that, or is he just pincering up and biting up the staircase?
He gets 3 attacks, so I'd assume it's 2 claws and a tail.
Okay.
So you just see him, you see the tail snapping back and forth over his back as it stabs out, and he's just trying to catch all of these fucking things as they drop down this staircase and cut them in half.
Okay. How far away from him am I?
Right in front of the door where you guys came in, 20 feet this direction, 20 feet this direction is the bottom of both staircases.
Okay, so I want I want to run up the side of the wall cuz I went more towards the right because he was there blocking the way. I kind of want to run up to him. While I'm running over to him, I want to stay out of that sigil on the floor. And I kind of want to, you know, is his back flat enough to where I could stand on it?
Well, I mean,
I
I'm
kind of
sure
want to
he's a
jump on him.
scorpion. He's kind of
Yeah.
got a like rounded off to the corners like exoskeleton, but he's a large creature, so I'm sure that the armored plates on his back are probably, 4, maybe 5 feet wide.
Okay, I want to jump on his back, and I want to be the tank's machine gunner.
All right, give me an athletics check.
Yes, sir. Ha! I rolled a 19
So you can definitely
plus
jump up onto his back. You'll
plus
have to
8.
make another dexterity or another acrobatics check every round that you try to keep your footing up there, especially without him knowing that you're what just jumped on his back.
Yeah.
So as unless you communicate to him, "Hey, I'm standing on you, don't move," it's going to get increasingly more difficult for you to keep your footing there as he thrashes around in combat.
Yeah, as I'm running over there, I'm just gonna be like, "Keelgun, on you," and I'll also say it like, "Yeah, snappy, snappy, snappy."
Click, 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 click,
Yeah.
click.
I can understand
Right.
you.
Oh, maybe I should have told him and draw a sign.
I can understand you, but you're gonna have trouble keeping your balance while I'm actually fighting.
It's fine. Just watch the tail.
He's like, don't be bucking. That's all I'm
Right.
saying.
I mean, you can buck all you want, bro, because I got a plus 10 dexterity check, dude. So I don't really care what you do.
You will if I revert.
Don't do that.
All right. So, again, just like with him, you don't actually need to roll to hit these guys. They only have an 8 armor class. So,
Okay.
if you just want to roll the damage from all your shots and tell me how much it is, I'll tell you how many kills you got.
Okay.
And is there anything else you're going to do with your turn besides your full 3 attacks? Do you want to do anything with your bonus action?
Um,
Because obviously you're not going to be trying to hide from nobody while you're standing on top of this giant scorpion shooting
What?
off these flashing arrows.
It's funny you say that because I was about to make a high check.
Exactly. So,
But it's okay. No, the
You're
only
hiding while standing on top of me.
you're gonna do
so
that.
yeah, just go ahead and tally up your damage and then let me know what it is.
All right.
That is the end of your turn, and that brings us to their turn in the initiative order again. And upon this second turn, Curzon, you're actually the first one to pick up on it because you're actually staring at that spot, still holding your concentration of that banishment spell just for that extra second to guarantee it and reveling in the divine essence of Steve. As a robed figure rises up out of the floor from the hole that the beholder came through and waggles a bony finger across your field of vision. A silver ring on the index finger of the left hand of this skeletal creature flashes in a gold and black radiance as it separates from his hand and flies off at a streaking arrow's pace, elongating in front of you and becoming a silver longsword that begins slashing out at you. And it is going to make an attack at you. Uses his attack bonus, which is a 19 to hit.
I'll be right back.
Say that again.
That hits.
That
All right, so it's going to
Your
do.
dad, you said?
No,
I hope not.
not even close.
Bless you, Nate.
It does 19 slashing damage as it sweeps across in front of you, slashing across the top of your arms as you're holding the fist of Steve. And it draws a thin line of blood and comes back to an on guard position and begins waving back and forth in front of you as this skeletal figure begins chanting in an eerie language. And that brings us back to the top of the initiative order with you, Curzon. Oh, I'm sorry, the zombies. Phil, you just start popping shots off and you're seeing these arrows burn straight through the first one and driving into the bottom halves of the second ones. And you actually, from your best guess in the heat of battlefield logistics, you figure to have dropped probably about 6 of these things in this first barrage of shots.
Okay.
But they all just, the gaps keep filling as these things keep pushing down the floor. And they are going to make some attacks. The first ones are going to make 2 attacks at Keelgaunt. And what is your armor class in this form?
17.
17. One of them gets a 14 with +3. So it is going to hit you. The other one does not. and you are going to take 7 points of bludgeoning damage, and then the rest of them begin filtering out, coming through this cloud of daggers. So go ahead and roll me some damage, Sylvan, on them. And that will bring us back to the top of the initiative order with Curzon.
Do you want me to just roll just once, or how do you want to do that?
Uh, every turn that their turn comes around, another group of them is going to push down the stairs. So you can just roll it every time I tell you their initiative is up. Roll me another grouping of damage because they're just going to keep pressing that press forward through that cloud.
Gotcha. I just didn't know if you wanted me to roll it for multiple of them since multiple are in there or what.
They're all going to take the same whatever it is you roll. So if you roll 17 damage, each one of them that passes through it is going to take 17 damage.
All right. I rolled 22.
That is the exact hit point number that a zombie has, but they have undead fortitude, so they make the save to, instead of dropping to 0 hit points, to drop to 1, and most of them shamble a step further through, and that gnome is over there just swiping away, trying to drop the last few of them as they come through. Curzon, what would you like to do? This silver, elegant, extremely thin blade is floating in the air, dancing in front of you, striking out at you, clinking off your armor in places, drawing lines of blood as this robed, glowing green skull of a human chants and waves its hands in the same spot where you just banished this abomination.
I think I am going to cast my spiritual weapon. Yeah. So I'm going to create a spiritual weapon that lasts. Here, let me just send this to you real quick, dude. And that way I got something to protect me here.
Let's see. So it's a bonus action. The range is 60 foot. 1d8 plus your spell casting modifier. Okay, so when you cast the spell, you can make a melee attack against a creature within 5 feet of the weapon. On the hit, the target takes force damage equal to 1d8 plus your spell casting modifier. And then you can move it up to 20 feet and repeat the attack against another creature as a bonus action on your turn. The weapon can take whatever form you want. Are you casting it at 3rd level, or are you casting it at anything above 2nd level? Because that adds damage to how much damage they take on the attack.
No, I'm going to cast it at 2nd level.
Okay, so it's just going to be the 1d8 then plus your spell casting modifier. So you
Yes.
can cast it, and then as casting it, he is with the sword, and this robed undead figure are both within the 60-foot range of you. So you could summon it and attack one time at either thing with it.
Okay, I'm going to attack that the caster.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Go
just
ahead
have
and
to
make your
position
attack
that.
roll.
You just have to cast that like within 5 feet of that caster, and then you can use it on this turn.
Which I have a 60-foot range on the spell, so I should be able to do that.
You absolutely can. He is within 60 feet of you, so go ahead and make your attack roll.
All right. She rolled 2 plus spellcasting modifier, which is 5, so that'd be 7 damage.
No, you got to roll to hit.
Oh, right. Yeah, I do that. 1,
A natural one.
a natural 1.
And you, first of all, what form does this weapon take? Your spiritual weapon? Is it a replica of the Fist of Steve? Does it resemble a weapon of somebody in the Holy Order that you looked up to? Like, what type of weapon is this? Is it a sword, a hammer, a mace?
It looks like the Fist of Steve. It always looks like the weapon I'm currently holding.
Okay. And it being that it's created from your own divine energy that's shared in this faith, it's in extremely high detail. It looks like a perfect copy of the Fist of Steve, except it has this like silvery glow to it from the divine essence of it. And you summon this thing right in front of this caster as he's waving his hands around and chanting, and you draw it back and slam it forward. And as it slams forward, it gets to within about 3 inches of his arms where he's casting. And you see this flash of greenish yellow energy as some sort of shield or spell effect that this caster has on him flashes out, and the weapon actually disperses and breaks down into motes of silver light and rains across the floor in an arc around him, dissipating.
With that, I'm going to cast.
The clean pants spell.
Yeah.
Should have
I'm
worn
going to
my
cast
brown pants.
Dispel Evil on myself, and that'll take 1 action.
Okay. All right.
Something like that to you, just so you know.
Anything else you want to do with your turn?
I'm gonna go over by Mr. Mr. Scorpion over there to add my Spirit Guardians to whatever he's got going on over there.
Now,
So in other words, get over here.
Calm down, Scorpion.
all right.
Nice.
So that brings us to Keelgaunt. What would you like to do as you now feel this weight land in the middle of your back, and you hear Phil's voice say, "On you," and you see these familiar flashes of white hot energy as these shots ring out in front of you and start burning into the horde. But the press is still there. You can still feel these half limp fucking zombie arms slapping up against you from all directions.
I'm just gonna keep the attack going because Phil is up there, and if I revert or do anything, he's just gonna fall to the ground. So I'm just gonna do the 3 attacks this time.
Cat always lands on the feet, bud.
We'll see about that. All right. So 3 attacks. So that's 21 and 21 plus 12, 33 damage.
Okay. You take out another 2, cutting them right from the bottom stair as they get pressed down into your range.
I don't speak common in this form, so I don't know how to tell this dude to get the hell off me so I can transform back.
So you're like clack, 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 clack.
I was hating Zoidberg before it was cool.
All right. Anything else you want to do on your turn? You've got movement or a bonus action.
Not a whole lot. I mean, have we pretty much closed the gap? So we're bottlenecking it bottle.
Yeah,
back in
you're
the staircase?
definitely holding
Okay.
up the bottom of that staircase on that side, but you can hear the commotion on the other side getting louder, like it's getting closer.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I can't really communicate with him, so I guess I'll see what he does and just keep swapping them out.
All right. Sylvan, you're up.
Sylvan is going to see what this creature did when Curzon threw the power of Steve at it and kind of give a couple of chuckles um, at the power of Steve, and then begin to whisper again. And I need the glowing green thing to make a wisdom saving throw, DC 17.
The one in the middle of the floor or the one at the top of the stairs?
Uh, which one did Curzon try to attack?
That was the one in the middle of the floor.
Let's
So,
do that one.
wisdom saving throw, DC 15
17.
or 17. Right. And it's going to use one of its legendary resistances to make that save.
Fair
And
enough.
he does.
Let's see. It's still gonna take half. I think. Let me double check. On a successful save, yeah. So it's still gonna take half, but it will not be frightened of me.
Okay.
So it's gonna take. That's 18 total, so 9 psychic damage, I believe. We'll
Okay.
check that just to make sure. 3d, yeah, psychic damage.
Perfect. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
Seeing that Steve has clearly abandoned Curzon, I will look at Curzon and say, "Abandon Steve. He's abandoned you," and give him bardic inspiration.
Okay.
That's
Praise
it.
me. Just praise me. I will help you.
That
It's a-
is so funny.
The D10 you can add to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
All right. And that's it for you. And the gnome is going to lash out. Ooh. And double crit.
Good job, bud.
And the group that just came through your cloud of daggers that had their undead fortitude bring them back to 1 hit point, the group of 4 of them that were coming down through it just fall underneath a vicious barrage of slashes from this gnome as he just rapidly cuts all 4 of them down, and they fall to the ground as the next part of the pack is starting to step forward into it, and you see him pull his sword back on guard again. And that's his turn, and that brings us to you, Phil.
Okay. So, how? Well, no, that doesn't really matter because you can't. Can I?
Give me
Can I
your
use this?
acrobatics off jump
Oh,
to
yep.
keep your
Yep.
footing
Let me
on this
let me
guy.
roll that for you right
And
now.
actually, the DC is going to be 17 now instead of 15.
Okay. Okay, so that's 22.
All right. And
These
just so you
numbers,
know, every round that you stay up there, that DC is going to climb by 2.
yeah. Yeah, especially while he's down there.
Yeah, you're like basically like shifting your
Right.
weight and balancing like you would be riding a bull as he
Yeah.
lunges out with this hand and this hand, and you duck down on his back as his tail strikes out over the top and spears another zombie.
Um
He's a scorpion
so
man, sir.
Yep, the Scorpo Whisperer. Um, so speaking of though, however, I'm glad that you said that because that brings me to my next point. Um, what do you think it would be possible to use my commanding presence to have him slingshot me across the room with his tail? Because you can take I can use one of my attacks as a bonus action to make a friendly creature that can see or hear me attack somebody or use an attack action. Could he use that attack action quotations to shoot me across the room while I shoot a couple arrows at the floor monster?
I
Now,
mean,
what does commanding strike say? Does it specifically say you use like a single word or anything? Because you basically have to tell him to
It
take
said,
his tail and launch you in a different direction other than the way that he's striking forward.
yeah, it says when you take it, the attack action on your turn, you can forego one of your attacks to use a bonus action to direct one of your companions to strike. When you do so, choose a friendly creature who can see or hear you. Expend a superiority die. That creature can immediately use its reaction to make one weapon attack, adding the superiority die to the attack's damage roll.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't specifically say that you can't use a limited phrase to try to tell him something. So he'd be basically making like a flat backwards with his tail, and you'd be trying to let it throw you. So
Right.
I would need an
So
he would have to
acrobatic or
climb up on
athletics
it.
from you, and I would need the
like
base
a
attack from
strength.
him.
Yeah. I would just look at his huge cluster of eyes and I'd say, "Toss me." So that's a D10
So I'm just
superior.
gonna go like this.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
All right.
give me an
He's got to climb up on the
acrobatics
back of the
or
tail.
athletics DC 19.
Okay.
I can still use my feats in wild shaping mode, so I'm gonna use Flash of Genius and give him +3 on that.
Okay.
I don't need it. I rolled a 21.
Oh, well, doesn't
But
matter.
thank you. So that's
I
a
don't have a
24.
limited feat, so
That's
So you
okay.
scramble up there, no problem, keeping your balance on the very tip of this curled over pointed tail, and he tells you throw, and you make your melee attack like normal. What's your strength in that form?
15.
15. So he's basically going to be able to throw you, like, I don't know what direction you're wanting him to throw you in, but he would be
Or
able, if you didn't use any other momentum except what he had, he'd be able to cover about 20 feet with you.
I was thinking more nearer to Sylvan.
Okay, so just back off to the left behind you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Um
yeah, he can throw you basically back to the foot of that other staircase or right in front of it where Sylvan has got this cloud of daggers going.
okay, and whatever you're rolling for that, you can add a 8 cuz that's what I rolled on my superiority die.
Okay, so I'm just rolling a normal attack and
Yep,
adding
just
an
roll
8.
a normal attack and add 8.
Okay. 28.
And he drops you like Kobe and just puts it right there in the sweet spot. You just land coming down to a soft touch, bending your knees just to the right of Silbin as he's doing his thing.
Okay, so while I'm flying through the air, I'd like to make at least one attack at that creature.
Okay, are you making it at the
The
undead uh humanoid or are you making it at the zombies?
the undead humanoid.
Okay. I am going to say because you are flying through the air in your somersault tumult to get over there, you're going to be making your attack at disadvantage.
Okay. I gotta try it. You know,
For
gotta try it.
fucking sure.
Okay, I rolled two sixes for a 18.
No,
I still have bardic inspiration. Can I use that to add to that or no?
absolutely. If you still have it and haven't used it,
I do, and technically I can use a maneuver as well, but let's try it with the bardic inspiration since I'm inspired. It's a fucking 10.
so it's 28
So
to
that's
hit.
28 to hit.
A 28 hits,
28 hits. He's going to take 14 regular and 6 radiant damage from that one.
and you see the impact as the the white hot missile strikes in, but it looks muted. Like it, you're used to seeing these shots. You know the intensity these rounds burn with, but this one looks like almost as if somebody gave you a light load, like a subsonic round.
Okay. Um so I noticed that. Now I hit the ground next to Sybil Shepherd. That's what I always want to call him. Sorry. It's not my fault. And so I'm going to let off my final shot.
Okay.
Um that's going to be another 18. Um and I'll let myself miss that shot.
Okay. And it flies in, and you see it almost similar to how Curzon's spiritual weapon came apart. You just see this shower of white silver sparks just break apart around it and scatter to the floor.
Okay. Um yeah, so then I'm going to kind of look at look at Sylvan, and I'm just gonna be like, all right, now what?
All right. And
And
that
then
was
that's
you.
it.
And that brings us to them. So, Silbin, go ahead and give me some more damage for this next group getting pushed through. Keelgot, you are going to escape the slams of both of these zombies coming down the stairs again, as both of them attack with an 11 at you.
23 for the cloud of daggers.
And you drop them down again. And let's do their concentration. They make it. They're at 1 hit point. And Curzon, this blade just slashes out again at you. And
Wow, wow.
bow, bow. It's going to be a 25 to hit on the first attack and a 25 to hit on the second attack. You're going to take 20 points of slashing damage as this long, thin silver blade just seems to be finding holes in your defense between the fist of Steve and your shield. The chanting that was emanating from this skeletal robed figure in the middle of the room comes to a crescendo, and with a shower of green energy, it explodes into motes of green light and then coalesces itself back into a single solitary form, and you see the familiar shape of a beholder floating above this opening in the floor. A second ray of energy arcs out from the top of the staircase to the left, lancing down directly in front of you, Sylvan and Phil, and slamming into the chest of this gnome in this glowing blue armor. Okay, let's see how much.
That don't sound good.
Let's see, that's right here. And that is going to be and this black ray streaks down from the top of the staircase and slams into this gnome's chest, passing right through this glowing blue armor that's encasing it, and sucks into this thing's chest. And you see inside this shell of armor, his body begins to just crumble and fall down into the glowing blue armor boots as a pile of fine gray ash resembles dust as the magical essence of the armor begins to fall apart and collapse on itself. That brings us back to the top of the initiative order.
Damn.
With Curzon. So now this blade of metal flashes from existence, and about 40 feet in front of you, you see the exact same beholder that you banished floating above this opening in the floor, and this robed figure is no longer there. Off to your left at the top of this staircase, you can see another one of these large leathery orbs beginning to float down the top of the stairs. Zombies mill along the floor and the staircase to your left as this gnome collapses, and you see Sylvan and Phil standing shoulder to shoulder behind this cloud of daggers. And off to your right, you see Keelgaunt in the form of a giant scorpion just lashing out and pincering zombies left to right, but more keep coming down the staircase. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna cast Flame Strike on the beholder.
Okay.
That is a vertical column of divine fire that has a 10-foot radius and a 40-foot high cylinder centered on the point where I'm aiming it.
Okay.
They must make a dexterity saving throw. And the creature would.
He gets a -1 to his dex save, and your DC is 18.
Yes, sir.
He does not make it with a rolled 9, making it an effective 8.
Nice. He'll take 4d6 fire damage and 4d6 radiant damage.
All right. You go ahead and tally that damage up and send it over to me in a message. We're going to
All right.
go ahead and take a 5-er real quick so everybody can get a bio break and something to drink and pop outside for a cigarette or whatever else they need.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
Smoke
See
them
y'all
if
in
you
a
got
few.
them. We'll be right back, guys. Give us about 5 minutes. Get a drink, grab the bathroom, smoke a pack of cigarettes. We'll be back in 5 minutes. back. It's all yours, Steve.
So all of you let the after effects of this bright column of white divine fire that springs into existence around this beholder. Your vision flashes but comes back, and you see this beholder lets out this eerie, semi audible screech, and you can see the flesh of it smoking as its eyes begin to turn and focus towards you, Curzon, in recognition of what just severely scorched this thing. Is there anything else you want to do with your turn? Any movement or any bonus action?
I'm just gonna ready myself to take this thing on head on, I guess.
Okay. I don't know what your movement is, but you could approach this thing. It's floating right over that opening in the middle of the room. And then you can
Okay.
see that there's the one at the top of the stairs off to your left over here. The staircase is about 20 feet away from you, and it's probably about 15 or 20 feet up in the air.
And that's another beholder.
From what you can see of it, because it's just starting to come down through the opening in the floor, it appears to be another giant floating leathery orb of similar makeup.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna place myself about 20 feet from the beholder.
Okay, so that'd be like 15 or 20 feet into the room as
Yeah.
you stalk forward with your mace and shield. Go ahead and give me another Constitution saving throw.
Copy that. 13.
And you feel that unholy energy as it builds like it did the first time, ready to lash out at you. But you feel a sense of peace wash over you at the same time as you feel the strength of your hammer arm throb as a pulse of divine energy emanates from the fist of Steve and races up your arm, and you feel it shield you from this unholy energy as it crackles and disperses, and you feel a tingling on your scales, but it doesn't do any real damage to you. Keelgaunt, that brings us to you.
Alrighty. Still zombies pouring down. You got the beholder thing or whatever it is coming down the other side. Zombies coming down. Okay.
Yep.
Um.
Basically, the left staircase is full of the remaining zombies coming down from that way. And then the beholders at the top of the staircase. So there's probably only 30 zombies or so on that staircase trying to make their way down to the floor where Sylvan and Phil are. And on your staircase, it's just a press of zombies just continuing to press
Okay.
down towards you.
And the staircase extends what, like 20 feet in the air, and then there's
Like
another
15
staircase.
feet up is the ceiling, which is the floor of the level above you. And looking straight up past where the shambling zombies are, you can see another staircase arcing up. So you figure it's probably only like you get to the top of the stairs and then you walk 5 or 10 feet and you start on the next staircase.
Oh, so it's not just, it doesn't run just straight up.
It's not just a single straight staircase.
Okay. Uh, I'm gonna back up a little bit from the staircase. Um, I'm gonna revert back
Are you taking
into.
more than a 5 foot step? Because you'll provoke an attack of opportunity from the two on the bottom stair.
Hang on one second.
I mean, not likely that these things are going to hit you anyway, seeing as they haven't landed a single hit against you. but
Right.
just for your knowledge, you will provoke one.
Yeah. I'm gonna move back about 10 feet. No. What is my friggin' speed in this form?
I thought you said it was like 50 foot.
40 feet. 40 feet is a giant scorpion. I'll move back about 20 feet.
Yeah, so they got a 10 and a 7. So the two
Okay.
closest swing at you and awkwardly, clumsily miss.
All right. I'm gonna use the bonus action to turn back into dwarven form,
Okay.
and then I'm going to. What was the diameter of the staircase?
The staircase is 10 foot wide. Each one of them is
Okay.
10 feet wide.
So I'm gonna throw up a moonbeam and just completely envelop that staircase.
Okay.
Um,
Now, what's the diameter on the moonbeam?
10 foot radius, 40 feet high.
Okay. So it's a 10 by 10 square.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to get the full coverage of 2 stairs of the staircase. So you can choose to put it anywhere you want on that staircase, the bottom, the middle, the top, whatever, because it's all within your range and it'll cover 2 solid stairs of it. So nothing
Okay.
will be able to pass through those 2 stairs without passing through the moonbeam.
Okay. Um.
Because each stair is about 5 feet wide.
Okay.
Like it's a 10-foot wide staircase, but each one is about 5 feet,
Well, since there's
in
already
step.
some pouring down, like I don't want to hit it in the middle because I have to deal with those ones in the front because I got to concentrate on this spell. So we're just gonna put it, from
Right
the
at the
floor
bottom of
up.
the stairs.
Yeah, from the floor up.
All right.
Um, I'm gonna cast it at level 5. Um, do they need to make the Constitution saving throw, or you think they're not gonna hit it? It's the
What's the DC on it?
my spell save DC 19.
Let's see. They get a +3, and they rolled a 15 and an 11. So at an
Oh,
18, they don't make it.
okay.
But
All right.
every one of your turns, they'll have to roll that save again as the next grouping of them gets pushed down through the moonbeam.
Right. Okay. So we're looking at we're looking at 32 damage.
And the bottom 2 stairs are just engulfed in this silver moonlight, which then just erupts into fire. And about 6 of these zombies are just incinerated instantly. And the press starts pushing forward down the stairs again.
All right. I'm just gonna stand there and hold the spell for now.
All right. That brings us to Sylban.
Where is this? The human. You said the humanoid that was glowing green is not visible right now, right?
Right. He was in the same position that this beholder in the middle of the floor was in, but as his energies sucked back into that spot, he was replaced by this beholder.
And this beholder is the one that just disintegrated the gnome, right?
No, this is the one that you mind lanced and Phil got some shots off on that Curzon banished and has now reappeared. The one at the top of the staircase to the left, up above behind where your cloud of daggers is the one that just shot a ray down and disintegrated the gnome.
Has he been hurt yet?
No.
Okay. Sylvan and a
He's
uncharacteristic.
about 30 feet from you, just so you know the range,
Okay.
at the top of the staircase to where you are at the bottom.
In an uncharacteristic fit of rage, he's going to yell at that beholder just the word die. as he's kind of like glancing down at where the gnome fell and disintegrated. And that familiar, you see that familiar flash of blue, but instead of coming out of his forehead, this lance, it shoots out of his mouth. And I'm gonna cast a psychic lance on him again, or on that one at the top of the stairs. It needs to make an intelligence saving throw, DC 17.
And it rolled a 19, but it gets a -4 to its intelligence. So he does not make it.
All right. I got a lot of dice because I'm casting that at 6th level, so it's gonna take 9d6 damage. So give me just a second.
No problem.
You trade all your spell slots in for that spell because your dice seem to like it.
Holy shit, guys!
16 nat 6s.
I got 4 6s so far. So, and 2 4s, and that's only 6 dice so far. So that's 20, 32 damage, and I still need to roll 3 more of these. So 32 plus another 6 and another 4. So 42, 44 psychic damage total. And he is incapacitated.
Nice.
Was incapacitated. You're muted, Steve.
And this lance erupts from your mouth as you scream the word die, and it actually parts zombies on its way up the staircase as it just slashes into the central eye of this beholder, which you now realize was a milky white when it focused its eye down the stairs. And you just see this spray of ichor and gore come splashing out as the light of that red lance, you actually see it shadow off of the staircase and the wall behind it, almost as if it drove straight through this thing. And it lets out a warbly screech and stutters for a second in midair and then just stops completely still, hovering there, floating, dripping gore from its central eye.
And Silbin, like, kind of stumbles forward a little bit, kind of takes a couple of heaving breaths, as that's like I don't think he's ever used that much power in one spell thus far. And he just kind of like raises his head with just kind of a flash in his eye, and he's focused on that beholder at the top of the stairs.
Okay. And it would go to the gnome, but so Phil, that brings us to you.
I kind of am very upset by the gnome being disintegrated too. And seeing Silbin's display just now, and seeing it sitting there with his blowed up eye just staring right at me, I think I'm gonna start shooting at that one real quick.
Okay.
I'll go with my sharpshooter for this attack. -5, so 23.
That hits.
Okay. 9, 15. 15 regular damage and 2 radiant damage. I'm going to follow that up with another shot with my sharpshooter.
Okay.
22 -5 is 18. I feel like I need to use a superiority die too, so I'm going to use my d6 die for a 4. That's gonna put me at 22 to hit.
22 hits.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was 25 because I forgot to add the 10 damage. 25 regular and 4 radiant damage. This one's going to be uh, the same thing, 25 regular damage and 2 radiant damage. So damn, that's 50 some odd damage.
Explain to the rest of the party, besides Sylvan, who can't see what's happening at the top of this staircase, what happens as your second shot drives through behind the first arrow that just followed Sylvan's lance through this central eye.
Damn it, Phil! If you steal another one of my damn kills,
I didn't think this was going to kill him. It's not my fault.
Well, I mean, these things only have 93 hit points, and Sylvan did 45 of it right off the bat.
Yeah, see, I thought they were a little bit more beefy than that. It's not. I'll give you the next one. You kill this other one.
at least I
Um,
stole the knight from you.
yeah, but you know what? You stole a lot from me in the first season, so I don't really care. And then you claimed
wasn't Sylvan.
falsehoods. Then you claimed falsehoods that were just not true. Which
Phil's
remind
not only out to win the Emporium, he's out to avenge the honor of
of Paladin
what,
Bob.
Bob, Paladin Bob.
Look, I, as Sylvan, am not responsible for anything Dave said or did.
He's like, I saw you sharing drinks with that barbarian.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Dave did that same lance trick.
Nah,
Um, so you see Sylvan's what it was like a big red bolt, correct? So you see
it's a
that thing.
blue. It's a big blue lance.
Oh, it's blue. Sorry, Steve said red earlier, so I didn't
I
know.
did.
So you
Steve
see
just
this.
sees my aesthetic and thinks that I only use the color red. That's all.
Okay, so a violet bolt because we'll mix the two.
He just looks like a blood.
Right. Well, I'm blued up from the shoes up,
He just
cuz.
looks like a Latin king for some reason.
Oh man. Southwest. So so you see this blue bolt go flying across the room, up the stairs through some zombies into the eyeball of this beholder. I like to and then you said that there was a shadow like it left the beholder. I like to think that it's because of the combined effort of the 3 attacks and it shot Silbin's lance to glory as my 2 radiantly charged attacks repelled his psychic attack with such force, causing it to blow the back out of this beholder. Trying to help him out a little bit. So
Almost
he
like
still
those
gets
two
the kill.
bullets that struck each
Right.
other.
Yeah. Well, pew! Just like that. Um,
Nice.
not trying to steal stuff.
Is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
Yeah, I want
You
to make my
and
last attack at the other beholder.
okay.
Yeah, go ahead and
and
kill that
do
one
it
too.
go.
It's not like Sylvan hasn't done a lot of damage to it.
I did already. All right, so I'll go sharpshooters again on that one. That's 25 minus 5, a 20. Will a 20 hit?
A 20 hits.
Okay. For 12, 22, 22 regular damage and 3 radiant damage.
And again, you see the arrow drive in and this scorched hole in the dead, rotting flesh on the side of this thing.
Um, yeah, that's pretty much going to end my turn.
All right, so you and Sylvan are down at the foot of these stairs. This beholder gets lanced through by this bolt of blue energy from Sylvan and then gets blasted with these 2 shots of this white energy that just explodes out the back of this thing. And it actually drops from the 5 feet or so it was hovering off of the ground and begins to roll down the stairs, knocking zombies prone, pushing them up against the wall on one side and over the railing on the other side, crushing a few underneath it. And I'm going to need both of you to give me dexterity saving throws
I would
as
like
this thing
to,
crashes down to the bottom of the stairs.
if you will allow
21.
it, I would like to use my reaction and phase step, um, 30 feet up the stairs, out of the way of this thing.
Like up behind it,
Yeah.
I will absolutely allow it, and I will absolutely allow you to give me another Constitution saving throw.
All right. I also need to check something else because, well, how close are those zombies within like 10, 15 feet of where I was?
Yes.
All right, so they may need to do something as well. I'll do my con save and then I'll look that up.
All right.
With the 21, can I jump flip over the thing?
Are you going up the staircase?
I mean, a little bit maybe.
All right. I'm going to need you to give me that Constitution saving throw as well.
So I had an inspiration from last session.
18.
Does that mean
Correct.
I got a second inspiration from the beginning of this session or just the one?
No, they replace each other.
12.
Okay. And what'd you get, Phil?
18.
All right. So Sylvan, you take 21 points of necrotic damage and you're thrown back down the staircase, landing in a heap up against the carcass of the beholder. And Phil, you take half of that. So 10. But you aren't thrown. You just take the 10 force damage or necrotic damage as the unholy energy rips into both of you for stepping inside the sigil.
Ow.
That was Phil's turn. Anything else?
What season is it currently outside?
It is still end of summer, beginning of fall.
Let's see. So summer, if I use a phase step, um, so were the zombies within 5 feet or no?
There are a couple within 5 feet of you.
Okay.
There are a couple within 5 feet when you jump from the bottom to the top and when you get thrown back.
Okay, so there's two things that can happen since you said it's the beginning of summer or the end of summer, beginning of fall. So I guess you can pick which one happens. The summer is immediately after your face step. Each creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of you takes fire damage equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of 1 damage. Or the autumn effect is immediately after you use your face step, up to 2 creatures of your choice that you can see within 10 feet of you must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you for 1 minute or until your companions deal any damage to it.
Do the summer one.
All right. Let me check what my charisma is. So I guess any non-allied creature within 5 feet of me is what I would choose for that. And it takes my charisma damage equal to your charisma modifier. So it's going to take 4 damage. Anything that's not friendly that's within 5 feet of where I disappeared from.
And the two that were on the bottommost stair getting pushed through your cloud of daggers that were using their undead fortitude to remain at 1 hit point just go up in flames as you disappear to the top of the stairs. And then the unholy energy of the sigil grabs you and throws you back down the stairs as you bounce up against the body of the beholder as it hits the bottom of the stairs. And that was
Since it's still my turn, god
Mhm.
dang it.
Yeah.
How lit how lit up is this whole area? Is it like the normal we've been dealing with? Is it pretty lit up?
It's pretty well lit. It's the equivalent of low light. You know, it's all glowing with this green, unholy energy that the skull and this these beholders and this robed figure all emitted.
Okay, I roll a 27 on my stealth check.
All right.
Since I'm in the stairway, and hopefully I can maybe avoid one or two zombies.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
All right. And that ends Phil's turn, and that brings us to them, which now consists of about half a dozen zombies that are left on the left stairwell and a full thing of zombies that are pressing down into the moonbeam on the right stairwell. So, Sylvan, go ahead and give me damage for your cloud of daggers again.
So here's the thing. They disappeared. When
When
I
you
face
cast your next
stepped,
spell.
no,
Ah,
when I face stepped up, um, I kind of like it was still there. This beholder kind of rolled through it, but as I got launched backwards and hit the ground, it just kind of dissipated and vanished. These glass shards of daggers fell to the ground and just like shattered and turned back to dust again as
okay.
I failed my check.
So then the remaining half dozen zombies on that staircase pick themselves up from against the wall or buffered up against the railing and shamble down and begin making sweeping slam attacks at you. And Phil, you're on the staircase too, so you're gonna get some too. So we're gonna go be at Phil. Ooh, two natural 19s, which make two 22s, and a 10, which makes a 13.
Couldn't you just make it at disadvantage because I'm pretty much invisible?
Yeah, but they can smell your blood.
No, I'm not bleeding.
Oh, you don't have to. That's gonna be 6 bludgeoning damage
They
as
definitely can't
2
smell
of
his
these
brains.
things
My
slam up against you.
my thinking meat.
And Sylvan, you son of a bitch. That is a 7, a 9, and a 10 to hit
Bruh, I'm due for some good luck. So
you. The other side, they continue to press down through this moonbeam. So they're going to try to make constitution saves. What was the DC on that, Rob?
19.
There's one. One of them makes it through.
Okay.
The rest of them do not. And that brings us to the beholder that now sees Curzon braving the sigil and stomping across the floor towards it. And it's going to lash out with one of these eye stalks at you. And I need you to make me a constitution saving throw.
So it is getting within 15 yards of me.
No, it's still floating right there in the middle of the room. You're
Oh, okay.
approaching it, and it's about 20 feet still out from you.
Okay.
Am I the only one that forgot that Curzon is a dragon? Because I did forget.
Sorry. What did you ask me to do, bro? I'm sorry.
I need a constitution saving throw, sir.
Okay.
I need a craft weapon on all these zombies.
19.
And this ray of grayish colored energy lashes out from one of the eye stalks on top of this thing's head and streaks in at you, and you pull your shield up slightly higher, and it slams into your shield, and you feel almost as if you walked into like quicksand. Like there's like a resistance to the air. And then immediately out of your opposite hand pulses another wave of divine energy as the fist of Steve throbs and begins to hum audibly and washes over you, and you push through, and the feeling just dissipates away from you. And
Steve.
that was. Does it get any more actions on its turn? No. So it's going to continue to just hover there. And that brings us to the top of the initiative order again with you, Curzon.
I think I am going to use Turn Undead.
Okay.
So, if I'm reading this correctly, it is a roll plus my wisdom modifier.
Correct.
Okay. That would be a 15.
And you see it as it vibrates on its axis there for a second, and then the central eye, which is a milky white color, and you see no iris in it, squints down a little bit looking at you.
With that, I'm going to man, I'm not sure what to do at the moment. I'm going to cast a Shield of Faith. Give me just a second. All right, so I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on myself and give myself a +2 AC for the next 10 minutes.
Okay. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
I'm going to stand my ground.
Okay. And that brings us to Keelgott.
Zombies still pressing down?
Correct.
All right.
One of them has made it through.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
Yeah. That's another 32 damage.
The one that makes it through shambles through, still smoking and burning, but on its feet as it shambles across the room towards you. The rest of them, you see them get immolated by the fire. And with the natural one, they don't make their constant or their constitution saves for their undead fortitude, and they just go up in a puff of smoke. And like 6 more off the staircase are just burnt to a crisp.
What is the range on that? Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm going to back up another 10 feet and just keep holding this spell.
Okay.
Like I'm backing up to get away from the one that's stumbling towards me while still holding the spell.
Gotcha. Anything else?
Well, that'll be it for now.
All right, Sylvan, you're up. Three
So
zombies in your immediate vicinity swinging at you. About 10 feet up the staircase is Phil engaged with a few more zombies. Off to your right side in the center of the room, you can see Curzon walking up towards this beholder, and you can see the fiery silver glow across the room as Keelgaunt continues to work his magic on the other staircase.
let me
What round is this?
Fifth, I believe.
check one thing before I say what I'm gonna do, because this might change something.
Alrighty.
Okay. I'm gonna save that for later. Actually, let me see. I'm not sure what this spell does, so I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Ooh, surprise spell.
Yeah, it's from one of my magic items, and I've never used it.
It's probably a good one too.
So what does it?
Probably gonna think of like 20 different ways you could have used it before now.
Okay. Well, it would help, but I don't know if it would matter at this point. How many zombies are on this staircase that I'm near? I know there's 3 around me, but is
There's
there?
3 more of them that are swinging at Phil on the staircase. The rest of them have all been either thrown off the staircase to the floor and cut up by your cloud of daggers or crushed by the beholder as its corpse rolled down the stairs.
Okay. Well, we're gonna do something different here. Um, Silbin is going to, instead of casting another spell the way he usually does, Silbin's gonna reach around on his back and swing his bagpipes forward and pull that chain that uncorks all the pipes and quickly fill it with air and start playing a tune. Um, as he starts playing this tune, his feet slowly start lifting up off the ground. And it's like, at first, it's just a couple of inches. But then he actually legitimately starts flying. Like these kind of wings, almost, you'd think pop out. It's kind of, it's more force than anything, but like every now and then you kind of see a shimmer and it looks like wings are popping out of his back. And I'm gonna use my magical bardic instrument to cast fly on myself.
Okay.
And then I'm not sure how far away the top of the staircase is, like the landing. I have 60 feet of movement now with my flight.
It's 15 feet up. The
all right.
ceiling from the floor is 15 feet.
I'm gonna try to fly to where the landing is, kind of get over that landing and just look around and see what I see back there.
All right. You're going to provoke attack of opportunity from the 3 zombies around you as you fly away.
Yes, and something that I had forgotten that I don't know if you've been rolling for. They all have disadvantage unless one of them hits me.
Well, this first one is the one that would possibly hit you. So we're going to roll the second die right now for his disadvantage to see if he did hit you. Fuck you. So they all just kind of clumsily slap up against each other as you fairy float up out of the way towards the ceiling and towards the opening of the staircase.
And I'm just gonna, that's my action and my movement. So once I get up there, I'm just gonna kind of look around and see what I see, on the
All
other
right.
side of the stairs. And I am specifically not going to touch the floor if I can help it.
All right. So you just kind of float up into the opening at the staircase at the top of the stairs that goes into the next room, and you just kind of hover and float yourself around in a circle to get a panoramic view of what's upstairs. And from what you see in this room, it appears to be either some sort of library or magical study of some sort, because this entire circular tower, the walls are lined with bookshelves and shelves that hold these weird arcane instruments and foci, and you can see just stuff piled up floor to ceiling. The ceiling again is another 15 feet above the floor of this one, and it's just 15-foot tall bookshelves that wrap all the way around this corridor. And you can see that there are two more staircases in the same positions but 5 feet back that go up to the next level.
You said that was like 15, 20 feet of movement, something like that.
Correct.
I'm just gonna, I guess, go up to the next level then and look and see what's up there.
So you fly 5 feet forward and then climb up again, keeping your focus on not touching the stairs or the wall to hopefully not trigger this sigil again. And you come up, same thing, right at the very edge, just pulling yourself up high enough to get a panoramic view of the third floor of this. And as you rotate around to look around the room, you see that this is a crystalline chamber. Like at the floor level, the stone walls stop, and the entire circular tower is made out of this clear crystalline stone. And it all is glowing with this green energy that the beholders and that this robed figure glowed with. And right in the center of this room, as you turn and view the room, this robed skeletal figure turns to the staircase and locks eyes with you. And that brings us to you, Phil. It's your turn. You have 3 zombies right in front of you, slamming their freaking limp, noodly zombie arms up against you.
Um,
And
I'm very
Sylvan just flew away.
yeah, I know, and that hurts my feelings. Because this whole time I'm like, damn it, I wish I could frickin' fly.
I'm Mary
And
Poppins, y'all.
that's all right. Um,
Out in the middle of the room, you can see Curzon with his shield and the fist of Steve just stalking towards this beholder across the floor. And you can see down in between the 2 staircases, you can see Keelgaunt backpedaling as he continues to throw silver magical fire at the staircase across the way.
so I want to go upstairs. I don't want to leave these guys to die. I mean, I'm gonna shoot at this other beholder real quick. Try to help Mikey out, because if I can take down this beholder, then Mikey can help him clean up the rest of the zombies, and I can try to rush my little butt upstairs.
You're going to shoot past these 3 zombies that are right in front of you, provoking attacks of opportunity at the beholder.
Um, yeah,
All right. They're all going to make their attack of opportunity at you.
okay.
And that's 2 19s and a 2. So that's going to be 2 22s to hit. And that is 5 bludgeoning damage as two more of these wet, semi shredded, broken zombie arms club up against you.
Okay. I probably should have did that a different way, but that's fine. Um, so yeah, I take a quick little noodle and I go ahead and ignore that, and I use a sharpshooter to shoot at the other beholder. It's gonna be 24 with a 19 to hit.
19 hits.
Okay, perfect. That's gonna be 8 regular damage and 2 radiant damage.
Okay.
Second attack will also be at that beholder. Oh, I'm sorry. What I say that regular damage was 8.
Yes.
It's 18. I forgot to add my plus 10.
Okay. 18, and then
And then
the
2.
radiant was 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Second sharpshooter attack right here. I'm going to use superiority die. 21 to hit.
21 hits.
Um, 11, 21 regular damage, 3 radiant damage.
And you see the silvery burn of the arrow erupt from the back of the leathery skin of this beholder and just explode in a shower of white hot sparks as it's driven through, and the green glow that emanates from it dims slightly as it begins to fall back down this open hole in the center of the floor.
Nice. And for my third attack, I'm just going to shoot at the zombie right in front of me
Okay.
for 18.
18 hits.
It's going to do 10, 10 damage and 3 radiant damage.
And it chars a hole through this thing's skull as it continues to try to lumber forward, overhand swiping towards you.
Okay. And if even if you take a 5 foot step, it's an attack of opportunity again, right?
No.
Okay, then I
If you
want to take
take
a five
more than a 5 foot step, it provokes an attack of opportunity.
unless I'm passing through them, correct?
Even if you're passing through them.
Oh, okay. Then I want to take 5 foot.
Unless you're disengaging or
Yeah.
you have the rogue feature, I believe it is, it provokes the attack.
Okay. So I'll take a 5 foot step backwards just to get them right out of my face.
Okay. Anything else?
Um. Um. No. Nope. That's
Curzon. That brings us to you. You see these two flashes of white divine energy or white radiant energy streak off from your left, somewhere slightly left and above you, and stab through this beholder. As the second one bursts out the backside of this thing, it begins to dim and fall down through this opening in the floor in front of you.
Well, I guess at that, I'm going to turn around and head up the stairs after everyone else.
Which stairs? The stairs that if you turn to the right from this thing as you turn around, those stairs still have a column of silver fire burning zombies on it with a thick pack of zombies coming down it. And Keelgaunt dancing around at the foot of the staircase, dodging a zombie. And the other staircase, you can see Phil ducking and dodging as he's blasting zombies at point blank range and trying to make his way up the stairs. You do not see Sylvan anywhere in your visual range.
I'm going to go help Kilgaunt.
All right. Now you have the distance. You can, I believe, you've got 25 feet of movement.
Let me double check that real quick. 30 feet.
So you could easily close the distance to this zombie that's on the floor that made it through the column of flame. Otherwise, you'd have to pass through his moonbeam to get to the other ones.
Okay. So I will definitely not go through the moonbeam.
All right. So if you want, you can go up to this one that's there. They have an 8 armor class. If you want to roll to hit it, I don't know what your modifiers and everything are with a melee attack or spell or whatever it is you want to do.
As it gets within 15 yards of me, my spirit guardians will hit it. Let me find. It's a 15-foot radius of me, and they will hit it for 3d8 radiant damage.
What do they use your attack modifier to hit?
Yeah, a wisdom saving throw. So it'd be a DC 18.
Okay. So he gets a -2 to his whiz, and he rolled a 5, so he's got a 3.
So he'll take 3d8 radiant damage. So it's 3, 5, that's 8, 9, 10. So 10 radiant damage.
And these spirit guardians, these spectral forms of other priests of Steve, just rip through this zombie, just pulling it into pieces as it was already ravaged by the moonfire as it made its way down. And they just pull this thing into chunks that splatter the floor about 10 feet in front of Keelgon.
And then does Keelgaunt look like he's wounded to me?
No, he doesn't look any worse for the wear. I think he
Okay.
took one little bullshit slam attack from them when he was in giant scorpion form, and it barely did any damage to him.
Then I think I'm going to cast Protection from Evil on him as I get to him.
Okay.
And I think that'll end my turn.
That brings us to you, Keelgot.
Okay. So Curzon is trying to get upstairs, but the moonbeam's in his way, pretty much.
He just made his way over to you and ripped this zombie apart with his spectral guardians, and
Okay.
now he's casting a spell on you.
Okay. But his goal is to. Well, our goal is to get upstairs, get up this stairwell.
I mean, if that's what your goal is, this stairwell is still full of zombies.
Right.
In the 15-foot span from where your moonbeam is up into the next floor, there's probably 30 zombies on this staircase right now. The other staircase is almost empty. There's only 2 remaining zombies on it that are engaged with Phil, and Silbin has disappeared somewhere into the upper floors.
Okay.
So you know
Do
them
we
other.
know whether both staircases lead to the same spot? Same
You don't.
room?
You haven't been
Okay.
able to see anything
Okay.
other than that extra staircase that's up above this one.
For sure. For sure. Okay. So, okay, if I move this moonbeam, Curzon, are you gonna make your way upstairs, or
I was going to just follow you wherever you're going. And,
okay?
you
Because
know,
my plan was to straight run up this wall because I
oh,
have these slippers of spider climbing. So I was just gonna run up the wall and across the ceiling to where the spot is while holding the spell. But if you need me to move the spell so you
well,
can get past it,
if the other stairwell looks clear, I'll probably go that way if knowing that you're just going to go up.
yeah, I'm
Mainly, I
not gonna
wanted to
take
make
the
sure you were
stairs
good.
up. I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna backpedal up the wall while holding the spell to try and wipe out these last 30 zombies. and then I'll just drop onto the stairs and walk up or whatever.
Okay.
What's the
Yeah.
movement range on your moonbeam?
60. Every new turn I can move at 60 feet.
So you could just sweep it straight up this staircase if you wanted to, hitting each group of 6 on the way
Yeah.
up and
Yeah, let's
basically
do.
trying to burn them up all the way up the staircase.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Okay.
Could he move? Could he move it half that and back and hit him twice, or no? Because that
No, I think he can move it up to 60 feet in a straight line.
it's just
Yeah, it says on each of your turns after you cast a spell, you can use an action to move the beam 60 feet in any direction.
that would be cool. Though, it'd be like a big eraser.
Like a spotlight, just
Yeah.
sweeping it back and forth.
All right, go ahead and roll out whatever you need to. They have an 8 armor class, so
You don't need a Constitution save.
uh, natural 20.
Oh, well then.
So the whole staircase is going to save.
Son of a bitch.
Shouldn't ask. Ask and you shall receive.
Yeah. Well, I'm still gonna kind of hold the spell, whatever. There's not a whole lot I can
Yeah,
do.
I mean, they still take half damage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Um,
better than none.
Right.
You
And they
could
can't
still
reach
roll.
me because I'm sticking off the side of the wall.
You could still roll high enough to do severe damage to them.
Oops, I'm rolling the wrong die entirely. That's my bad. Um. Oh no, I'm not. What the fuck? I was thinking of my last spell. Okay. 16, 26. Half damage is 18.
And most of them are ravaged by fire and they're barely clunking up against each other trying to shamble down the stairs.
All right.
And you're just back crawling up the wall, the
Yeah, I'm
outside
just.
wall,
Yep.
going for that hole where the staircase is.
Yeah, I'm just backing up, walking.
All right. That brings us to you, Sylvan, as this skeletal face with green glowing eyes and flowing black robes locks eyes with you as your head pops through the hole of the 3rd floor.
Hmm. Did we see when um when stuff was getting when some of our spells were getting like lessened and kind of knocked back? Did we see anything happening? Would I know that this is the thing that was causing that to happen by any chance?
Well, the green glow that you saw emanating from both beholders and that was emanating from the eyes of the orcs outside and from the floating skull that Phil shot down outside all emanate from the eye sockets of this skull that rests on top of these robes.
Okay.
If you want to give me an arcana check or a religion check to see if you have any knowledge of liches in general, you can do that.
Probably not. I'm looking at a 12.
You do know that they exude an unholy magical energy. You can only assume that because it's glowing in this same shade of green as everything else, that they're somehow linked. Actually, give me another arcana check, but this time at advantage for studying the sigil in the main floor.
Uh, all my dice have betrayed me. That's a 9.
So it doesn't trigger any spark of knowledge in you, but inside the two green glowing eye sockets of this skull are the same sigil that was woven in with the sigil of binding downstairs.
All right. Somebody pick evens or odds.
Odds.
All right. Sylvan's gonna do something stupid.
Never tell
Very,
me odds.
very much against Sylvan's character. The watching this gnome um, have the party shut his men out with this group of zombies and not even knowing if they've survived or not. Just to watch the gnome be disintegrated. Sylvan has kind of lost it a little bit. Normally he would stay back and cast some spells or wait for the others. But as he comes flying over this landing and sees this creature standing in front of him and sees that green glow, he pulls his rapier out, which is somewhat rare, and he just flies Peter Pan style towards the lich, rapier drawn, trying to attack melee for change.
On guard.
Okay.
I find that Tybalt cancels out capoeira.
Unless your
Um,
opponent has a studied as a gripper.
Which I have.
rolled a 26 to hit.
Okay. And as a reaction, he's going to use one of his lair actions to enact this flash of silver off of his left hand as this long, thin blade erupts from his hand and interposes itself in between you and him and accepts the first strike.
I don't know why you say first because I only have one. So
Oh, brutal.
I'm a bard. I don't have I don't have a bunch of extra strikes.
Hey,
So
Can't
you
use
guys are coming
action
up with all
here.
kinds of shit. I don't know what anybody's doing anymore.
Right, we're just along for the ride, baby.
I was just gonna use my psychic blades to fuck this guy up and do an extra 5d6 of damage, but no.
You're gonna have to wait.
You can attempt to do that to this magical item and destroy it.
I mean, I don't know if it counts. Psychic blades. If it says when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend one use of your bardic inspiration to deal an extra 5d6 damage to that target.
No, it would have
So
to be a creature.
yeah, that's what I figured. So yeah. So Sylvan's turn. I
All right.
don't think. Let me check. No, I don't because I've already used that. So yeah. It's nice knowing you guys. I'll keep running the campaign for you, but my character's probably about to die unless y'all get up these stairs real fast.
That brings us to
Face
Phil.
to face with the devil. All right. So somewhere in my mind where all this is going on, I hear a little crying voice in the back of my head.
You hear Sylvan's voice, but it comes out as a squeak.
like like he dropped his bagpipes.
Yeah, like somebody stepped on him, just a discordant ass note.
um so I mean I'm going to run past these two zombies and
All
taking
right.
an attack of opportunity.
Ooh, one's a nat 20.
Fuck yeah.
That's going to be 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
That was awesome. That was the best that zombie could do. That motherfucker gave it his all. Like, I want to be employee of the month.
Give me 2 seconds.
Yep. That was a max roll on a d6 plus 1, doubled for his fucking nat 20. That was literally the best he could do.
It was good. It was real good.
Gave you a good solid pat on the back as you ran by.
Yup. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm trying to read something real quick. Okay, so I run past this zombie. I took a good little hit. Um, so I'm going to as I'm running, because I'm gonna try to go up the stairs. I'm gonna try to make it as far as I can up to the third floor. I only have 30 foot of movement.
You're just in that range. You were about 10 feet up the staircase of the first floor, dancing and dodging around these zombies. So you've got 5 feet of stairs, 5 feet of landing, and then 15 feet of the second staircase. And that brings you up to the third floor. You'll be right at that landing at the top of the third floor at 30 feet.
Will I be in?
Visual range, yes.
Yeah.
You would just have to turn around.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna. I don't want to get messed up with Sybil. Damn it, Sylvan. Um, which also brings me to my next deal, which is um, I'm gonna use my action to pull out a potion from my bag of holding.
From your bandolier.
I don't have a bandolier, sir.
No, because I told all of you guys in the beginning if you used bandoliers, you could drink potions as bonus actions, but if you kept them stored in bags of holding or backpacks, you had to use a full action to drink it.
I know, which is why I said I'm gonna use my action to drink
Okay.
a health potion.
Hey, I'm just saying, you could always said, yeah, I wanted to do that.
Yeah, I wanted to do that.
You can mark off the money for a bandolier and say that your character wears them strapped across his chest.
That would be great, except for I plan on using my bonus action for second wind.
There you go. Do whatever you got to do. I just want you to have all the information up front so you
Thanks,
can
sir.
structure your action economy how you see fit.
That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so that's 2d4 plus 2. 2d4 plus 2. Okay, ooh, a nat 4. Ooh, a 3. 7, 8, 9. 9. Okay, and then my second wind is here. It's a d10. Ooh, that's a 9. That's a 9 plus level plus 13. 9 plus 13 is 22 plus 9 is 31. It's going to put me back to 99. All right, cool. I want to stop just short of the stairs because I know I'm not going to be able to do anything else.
Just short of the top of the stairs or the bottom of the stairs?
Just short of the top of the stairs where I'm in visual range.
Okay.
So I assume I would be able to at least see Sylvan's head or back or something unless he went. Oh no, he ran into the room after the lich.
Yeah,
Like,
he flew in, but you can see once you get about 10 feet up that second staircase, if you turned around, and like put your back to the stairs, you could look over the floor into that next room and you'd see Sylvan floating off the ground as he swooped in to attack, and this silver blade came out and is dancing in front of him, and this robed figure standing behind the blade.
Okay. And then I got a 24 stealth check.
Okay.
Whatever. I know it probably doesn't matter against the lich, but that's what I do.
All
I
right.
run and I hide from things.
And that brings us to his turn. And he is going to engage his sword against Sylvan. And that is an 18 to hit.
He does have disadvantage, by the way, still.
Well, that's still an 18 because the second roll was better.
Okie doke.
And
He's
that is
incapacitated.
8 slashing damage from this blade. And the figure lets out a peal of laughter that echoes off of these crystalline walls and just begins reverberating inside of this room. And you and Phil both need to make a constitution saving throw.
Before I do that, Sylvan's feet, as he is struck by this blade, finally touch the ground. And that like shimmering of wings disappears.
Okay.
Um, I can't remember for sure, and I forgot to write it down. But I only used my Indomitable once, right? Okay,
Correct.
okay, because I think I need to use it right now.
All right.
So here goes my last Indomitable. Oh yeah, that's so much fucking better. My roll is a 15. I rolled a
I
4 first time. This time I rolled an 8.
think I might retire from D&D because that's a 4.
Damn.
All right. And this sound reverberates off of these crystalline walls and washes over both of you in waves, and you feel your bodies stiffen and come to a halt. You're both effectively paralyzed for 1 minute, or until your next turn when you can make another save against it.
It's not a charm, right?
No, it is not.
Okay, just making sure.
No, it is a paralyzing action as a lair action. And it begins laughing maniacally in conjunction with this echo that reverberates. And that brings us to the top of the initiative order again with Curzon. As you hear this evil, maniacal laughter echoing out from somewhere upstairs.
I am going to follow behind the moonbeam as it goes up the stairs, and then let my guardians finish off whatever's not annihilated by the moonbeam.
Okay.
And
So
I'm
the
gonna,
staircase is 15 foot in range from floor to floor. So you could follow up behind it and it would get one pass off on each group as you ascended the stairs.
okay.
So I don't know if you need to roll to hit them or what. Or they make
Uh,
a save
they
versus it or something.
they make a save, a
Or
DC
DC
18.
18.
Yeah.
and they do not make it with a 10.
Okay. And they'll take 3d8 damage each.
And they all already took damage from the moonbeam as it passed up. So if you break 10 damage, you clear the rest of the staircase.
18.
Nice. So you just follow up right behind this moonbeam, just charging up the staircase, and your guardians, these spectral priests, just come swooping in front of you, just ripping chunks of zombie off of the one side where the railing is and driving the other pieces of it flat into the exterior wall of the tower and smushing them flat as you walk up the stairs. They just clear the way in front of you.
When I get to the top of the stairs, I'm going to cast Guardian of Faith.
At the top, at the second floor.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is the one where the Guardian protects me and does 20 radiant damage on a failed save.
Gotcha. And how much movement do you have?
30 feet.
So you could technically make it to the top of the second staircase, or 5 feet short of the top of the second staircase, which would be the third floor. Or you can stay on the second floor or go in between.
Where are the other guys?
As you turn and look into this room of the second floor, you see what Sylvan saw, which is this is some sort of arcanum. There's bookshelves and shelves and tables that line this entire circular room, floor to ceiling, that are just covered in various tomes and magical implementation. But you don't see Sylvan or Phil on this level or anybody else, and the laughter is coming from the floor above you.
Okay, I'm going to continue up to the as high as I can go.
And you race up the second staircase, getting to the top and turning around to look over your shoulder back into the room, and you see Sylvan engaged with, well, he was engaged with this silver sword that you recognize as flashing in front of him, but you can see that him and directly across the room past this robed skeletal figure at the top of, or at on the other staircase, you can see Phil's head poking up, but he's in a position like this where he's just stuck drawn back with his bow, and Sylvan's in a position where he's trying to fend off this sword, but they're both just at a complete standstill as this lich stands in the center of the room, cackling maniacally. So you used your movement, you used your action to cast Guardian of Faith. Is there anything else you want to do? Any bonus action stuff you want to do?
Uh, Not at the moment. No, I'm gonna hold tight.
All right, Keelgon. That brings us to
Uh,
you.
okay. Did he wipe out the zombies as he moved up the? Okay, so they're gone now.
You cleared
Okay.
them. There's 2 zombies left still alive on the opposite staircase that are now shambling up towards Phil because he ran past them.
So if I backed it last turn, if I backed up to the opening, up the wall, uh, I'm obviously going to disengage the move medium now because I don't really need it. How much movement will it take for me to clear up to the third floor where they are?
Another 15 to 20 feet because it's 15 feet from floor to floor, and you'd have to go 5 feet into the room, so about 20 feet.
And I can hear them up, so I know they're up on that third floor.
Yes, and you can technically see Curzon because he's standing at the top of the staircase that's in front of you at the very top of it.
Okay. Um.
And you can hear that laughter echoing from the floor above you.
Okay. Um. Okay. So I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna head up there. Um. How's everybody looking?
It looks to be that Sylvan and Phil are both frozen somehow. They're both not moving. Phil has his bow drawn back, and Sylvan's trying to defend against this flashing silver sword in front of him. And Curzon has hit the top of the stairs with his spirit guardians floating around him and his shield and the fist of Steve like he's ready to charge into combat. And this lich is standing there laughing.
So Phil and Sylvan, uh, other than being paralyzed, how are they looking? I mean, other
Uh,
than, I mean, I know
I
meta.
believe they both look a little banged up. I think Sylvan looks worse than Phil does. Um, but again,
Right, it's relative.
it's all interpretive to how you see it. You can see that they've both been scathed by this battle. Sylvan looks to
For
have
sure.
taken a little more beating than Phil has, but that's kind of common for Phil.
Sylvan doesn't
Uh,
look great, but he doesn't look terrible either.
okay.
Same. Phil looks like he broke a sweat.
Phil looks like he broke a sweat. Um,
Yeah.
I just don't want either of them to die. So I'm gonna get up there. I'm gonna hit Sylvan with hopes that the cleric will hit Phil. Um, you know, if Phil's more than breaking a sweat at some point.
Bruh, I've already got
I'm
the lich hitting me. I don't need anyone else doing it.
um, well, I'm just gonna cast heal on you.
That
Um,
works. I'm okay with
it's
you
gonna
hitting me with that.
you get
Hit me again, Ike.
Next
you
time, can you put some
regain.
remove paralysis on it?
For real.
Well, I mean, it says the spell ends blindness, deafness, and any diseases affecting it. But I'm assuming that doesn't account for paralysis. Okay, well, you're gonna regain 78 hit points.
Holy crap.
Jesus, I wasn't doing that bad.
Right? I shouldn't have wasted my second win there.
Who the fuck
I don't.
would have thought 100 hit points were coming out of this goddamn dwarven druid?
I was fixing to say I don't know if we need the cleric anymore.
Yeah. He's trying.
I mean, that's what I had to get some healing spells to look out for when we did lose the cleric. So
Oh, so you
All
plan
right,
on
so
like
you get up there and you break this little berry bush out of your beard and snap it in half and blow the whispers of remnants of it across the room, and you see him land on Sylvan's shoulders, and he stands a little straighter and a few of his wounds close up.
All of my wounds. I think I grew a couple of feet taller
yeah,
too.
I mean you probably could have shared some with me.
Vasectomy went away
if
too.
I could split the spell, I would have.
That's it's literally
Yeah.
about 40 HP more than what I needed.
You didn't realize it, but you healed the ingrown toenail he had too.
Right, his bunion's gone.
He's about 12 years younger.
Yeah. Cleared up that gonorrhea he got from the last time he was at the inn.
He can prime his bagpipes a little faster.
No more bald spot.
Oh,
Hey, I'm an
Anything else you
elf.
wanna
There's
do
no
with your
bald
turn?
spots.
That's what
It's
they
all
want you to
bald.
think.
But that's
That's
action and
movement, that's
so-
action. So you still have bonus action if you want to do anything with it.
Where's this? Where's this lich?
It's standing right in the middle of the room, so it's about 20, 25 feet away from you.
Okay. Bonus action.
Oh, and since you and Curzon have come up here, I'll give you the visual too. At the floor level, the gray green glowing stone stops, and this entire room, this entire 80-foot diameter circle, and the pitched roof that's above it is made out of this clear crystalline stone of some sort, and it glows with that same green glow that emanates from this skull's eyes.
Okay.
And in fact, since you are on that aspect, I'll give you the opportunity to make an Arcana check as well. And you can do it at advantage since you studied the rune downstairs with him.
22.
Thank fucking Jesus. So it didn't dawn on you when you were on the first floor looking at this sigil that was etched into the floor because you didn't realize right away that it was two symbols intertwined with each other. But seeing this skull and seeing these two green glowing eye sockets, you realize that in the eye sockets are the second sigil from downstairs. The sigil of binding and then this transmogrification symbol. And you immediately recognize it like, oh shit, that's what was wrapped up in that binding symbol downstairs. And then it begins to fire synapses in your mind. So if you want to go ahead and make another Arcana check, just base as to what you know about the arcane nature of liches, then you might be able to learn some more.
Just normal, not
Yep, just no advantage, just straight up roll.
Dirty 20.
You immediately recognize it as it not only being a symbol of binding, but a symbol that you saw once before etched onto a clay jar that one of the other druids you studied with had. And it's a jar of imprisonment. And inside that stone jar that druid had, he kept a maligned fey spirit that was causing havoc in the forest. But he explained to you when he was teaching you that that jar can be used to house uh, a spiritual essence, if you will, or a malign spirit. And it starts to ring in your head. Maybe this is where this lich is keeping its spirit. Maybe this is what's serving as its phylactery.
Okay. But my question is this the phylactery or is it the underground where he came from? Yeah, there's not much else I can do other than those checks. I'm assuming there's because everything's clear. I can't exactly hide in here.
Correct.
Okay. Well, there's not a whole lot else I can do right now. I mean, I could draw my shield.
There you go. That adds some armor class.
Yeah. That's about it. That's all I can really do.
Form
Sylvan,
of water.
that brings us to you. Go ahead and make me your saving throw again, sir.
Which saving throw?
Constitution.
Con.
Sylvan is just going to spend his turn standing here staring at the lich because I'm pretty sure a 13 does not get me out.
No, sir, it does not. Phil. Constitution saving throw, please, sir.
Constitution saved, brother. That's a 24.
That saves. You begin to shake off the lethargic effects and you realize you have been standing here for a few seconds now with your bow drawn.
So we're gonna let her rip tater chip.
There you go.
So here goes attack number 1. Try to sharpshoot it
Get
with a 20. With a 20.
A 20 hits.
Outstanding. Oh, yeah. Natural 10 on that. Plus 6. 16 plus 10 is 26 regular and 3 radiant damage. Second attack. Sharpshooter. That's going to be a 22, which will hit.
22 hits.
That's going to be, oh my lord, 16, 26 damage and 4 radiant damage. Attack number 3. Try to sharpshoot it again. Let's run it out. Okay, I'm going to add a superiority die to that. I'll have one more after this one. For a 10, that's outstanding. So 22 again to hit. That'll hit. That's going to be 5, 11 damage, 11, 21 damage, and 2 radiant. And now I'm going to action surge and try to go some more at him.
Okay.
With a regular attack. Well, I'll still say that was going to be a sharpshooter. It doesn't really matter. That attack is going to miss because I rolled a natural 3. This one sharpshooter is going to be 20, 25.
It hits.
Rolled a natural 18 on that one. 6, 12, 22 damage, 2 radiant. Sharpshoot again. 28, 23 to
23
hit.
hits.
6, 9, 19, 19 damage and 1 radiant damage.
So 20 total.
Yep, 20 total. And my last attack will miss also with a natural 2.
So you're firing the shots so rapidly, you're not even pausing to see if they make connection. Like the next one's being loaded and gone through the bow as the first one leaves. So the 2 that missed, you don't even register they missed until after the final shot is gone. And the final shot misses because it passes straight through the corporeal form of this lich and sparks off of the clear gemstone wall just a few feet to the side of Keelgaunt, actually, and rains in a shower of sparks as this
Sorry.
unholy green energy sucks in and crumples down in on itself and vibrates and then explodes outward in a shower of green energy as the lich's corporeal form is destroyed. And I need everybody in this room to make a DC 18 Constitution saving throw.
How about a 10? I
Would
got
it
a 10.
matter for me since I'm paralyzed, or
You
does that
can
work?
still attempt to make the con save. Your body can still be strong enough.
Okay.
I'm
No,
on the
it's paralyzed.
stairwell. Is that still going to affect me?
Yes.
Okay.
Going for a 10.
24.
I'm going to use my inspiration to reroll that.
All right.
Oh shit, I still have one. I'm going to re-roll mine. Damn it, I got a 17.
I got a 10.
Robbie's flash of genius.
Doesn't work for saving throws. It does it? I'm pretty sure it's just.
I thought you
checks.
said it works for saves or checks.
Let me double check it.
What about Bardic Inspiration?
Don't you still have an indomitable?
A bardic inspiration
No.
does work for saving throws.
Oh, nice.
So you can add a d10 if you have one left.
I do.
I got a 16.
Indomitable last time and still failed again.
All right. So we got
I got-
Phil and Sylvan who have both failed. We got Kilgot who got a 24.
Yes, 24.
And what did you get, Curzon?
17 with Bardic Inspiration.
Oh no, it does work for saving throws. My bad. I didn't realize that.
So we've got 3 failures. Keelgaunt the only one saving. So all 3 of you are going to take 35 necrotic damage as this Lich's corporeal form explodes in a shower of raw, unholy energy, and the fragmented pieces of the skull and the robe, along with some other things, drop to the floor in the center of this room. You're all effectively out of combat. And that is where we're going to end today's session.
Oh,
So, congratulations. And
I was
let's
getting
go
ready to
ahead-
run over and slap Sylvan with lesser restoration and unparalyze him.
Let's go ahead and give Phil the honorable mention, as he got all 3 of the killing blows
Phil
on
the
the 2
kill.
mini bosses and the Lich.
I'm gonna start calling you Kill instead of Phil.
Muy bueno. Muy bueno.
Nathan,
Very
in
nice.
my defense, I was gonna wait until you died to start firing at him, but
I
we
mean,
both got
he
paralyzed.
kept talking about, man, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
Right.
So I had to run up there and be like, here's a whole bunch of health.
Dibs on all treasure.
I see. I
Negative,
just
sir.
figured you guys were gonna try to run up the stairs and keep failing saves and get knocked back down and failing saves and knocked back down. And Sylvan was just gonna be up there just fighting the Lich by himself.
Well,
I
that's
know,
the thing
which is
about
why I passed mine.
well, that's the thing about that magical sigil is every time you encounter it, the next time you encounter it, the DC is lower to pass.
Yeah.
So the first time it was the DC 15, which is why Curzon was the only one to get blasted by it, because everybody else beat a 15 DC. And then the next time 13, next time 11, next time 9.
See, that works great when people roll high, like sometimes roll higher the next time. But when my dice go like scale down with the DC, it doesn't help.
Hey,
Great session, guys.
I had some
Yeah.
terrible rolls too, dude.
I
It's just
started.
I
Go
had-
ahead and sign us
I had
out.
3 ways to get out, so it was good.
I started the night writing down my rolls because I was like, I can't believe I'm rolling this good. And then, like,
He ain't
after a
wrote
couple
one
of
down
rolls,
in
I was
2
just like,
hours.
forget it. I'm done. Like, after like 4 or 5 rolls, I'm like, I'm done. I'm not writing any more down. I'm back
Oh,
in
man.
single digits again. All right, guys. Yeah, it was a great session. Had fun. Sucks that all my kills got stolen, but you know, it is what it is. It's that's D&D with playing D&D with
At
Phil
least you're
here.
still
so.
alive.
Yeah, live another day. I can steal some kills next session, I guess. You guys got anything that you want to say or do before we head out?
Yeah,
Thanks
you always
anybody
say
who
I steal
watched.
your kills,
You
but I'm
guys
the
are
one that hits
awesome.
them first every time. So they're all my kills.
What was your initiative this round?
Oh, it was terrible.
It
Yours
was terrible.
Yeah, I'm not going to verify that with a response.
What were you saying, Steve?
I said, thanks to anybody who watched. Awesome of you. Make sure you tune in for the next game, which we will definitely get in the chat and put together.
Yep. And if you're interested in watching any of season 1 or the rest of season 2, you can check out the link there to Steve's YouTube channel. That's where the VODs go. And yeah, it'll probably be next month before we get started, but hopefully we'll be able to get a session in next month and continue on in the Emporium. And
If it starts snowing and we have to fight Santa Claus, man, I'm gonna be pissed.
make one more session through and
I mean, it might
one
be
step
awesome.
closer. How many
Sandy
sessions
Claus?
has it been since we found an hourglass?
It's
3
been,
or 4.
this will be the 3rd session since
This
you
is
found an
from
hourglass.
finding the last one.
The
All
last
right.
one you guys found in the Dragon's Tomb.
So we're due for an hourglass pretty soon, hopefully.
Maybe.
'Cause, yeah,
We just
this-
got to inspect this room.
this level's been kicking our
That
asses, but
the
Steve's
one
gonna
right
make us
below
fight
it.
Krampus.
Krampus.
all right, guys. If you don't have anything else, I think that's it from me, and we will see you all in another dimension.
Later.